Now we're live. Welcome everyone to the Black Flag Podcast. My name is Mike.
I hate everyone equally, and there's no one alive who could comprehend my sexual preference.
And I'm joined here with Snoots.
Hello!
Bullshit!
And as always, we have our Twitter hype man, Jags.
Well, you know what time it is.
Y'all are getting some mileage out of those clips, aren't y'all?
I fucking love those clips.
Mileage for days. And we also have a guest today.
Son of a Protestant whore!
Yo. No, I'm actually surprised I get a talk about a clip. Okay, that works.
Yeah, I actually didn't. I didn't realize that we were going to accuse our guest on his first time on the stream of being a son of a Protestant whore.
Well,
but
I think I did that
Snoots
to
doing that.
I did that to Dutton last week, I think. So I felt like keeping up with tradition,
I feel like we need more clips.
right?
I feel like we need more Catholics, so we're going to be calling people Protestant whores.
We need vague clips for whenever we have one of your friends jump on before we start accusing people.
Starting a little list over here.
Let's not be rude. Let's not be rude to our single viewer about our single guest. Why don't you introduce the guy?
Well, Kana, I mainly have seen your art. Do you want to talk a little bit about what your deal is, what your goals are for your art?
Well, I am a independent freelance comic book artist and concept artist. For now, my only goal is to create my own story in concept art and draw comics.
Yeah, boy.
Dig it. What do you got working on right there?
Right now, I'm actually trying to develop concept art for a character for my comic. This character is an older character of mine I've actually had for years, but I've always tried to keep their attire updated the more I learn new things or the more I want to implement it to my story or their aesthetic. So right now I'm just taking an older idea and working on it and trying to develop an entire concept for them.
That's pretty cool. How many characters you got worked up so far?
Shit. As far as characters I have drawn in total and completed concept art for, I want to say around 340.
And you don't have any books of your own yet?
I have one book published for I have one book I published in high school, one book I published at college, during college, at my college. I have one I've actually worked on for someone else, so I wouldn't necessarily call it mine. But no, this would actually be my first comic book that I would do for myself. I'm debating whether or not if I want to kickstart it or if I actually want to pitch it to an independent studio or a mainstream studio, but my dream has always been to draw for Dark Horse Comics, so we'll see how it goes.
Interesting. It's actually, I think back in, I want to say junior high, I was first developing a comic with a buddy of mine, and he's actually camoing.
You're roboting.
He's camoing.
I'm not camoing. What do you mean I'm roboting?
You're roboting.
The fuck does that mean?
You broke up there.
We sound like
Just say what you said over and over. You broke up a little bit.
What happened?
So real quick before we go on
Oh,
about
goddamn
camoing.
I miss Cupcake.
Everybody, welcome there. Our fabulous Instagram
Oh yeah,
lady.
she actually sent us a new thing she wants us to play instead.
Ooh, next week.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, back in junior high, I was wanting to develop a comic, and I was wanting to pitch it to Dark Horse as well. So that's fun.
Dark Horse, everybody's favorite.
Yeah, I used to read a lot of Dark Horse stuff as a kid, especially things like Hellboy was one of my favorites as a kid. So I always told myself like, oh wow, like if I did a comic book, I want something that's done by them just because they've like fueled my childhood so much. Not just Dark Horse, obviously, but you know, for some odd reason, their aesthetic or their overall feel for comics just seems like something I would fit right in at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dig it.
Yeah,
Okay.
ironically,
Dark Horse is awesome.
What?
Go ahead, Kana.
no, sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm having
Jegs, fix your bandwidth, goddammit.
Yeah, is that even us?
my
dude?
bandwidth is fine, bitch.
Oh! All right.
All right, James. Shut up.
His bandwidth is fine.
Ow.
Anyway. All right, so Bear, what are you up to today?
Well, worked, making dinner, helping Thomas poo.
Oh, lovely. For context, she has a toddler.
And then Thomas is her husband.
Good old
Shame
Pepper
them.
Rockers.
Bear,
Excellent.
your
That's-
image is broken.
What?
Jegs, you need to fix your bandwidth, man. Come
Yeah.
on.
My bandwidth is fine. I got great bars. Do y'all not see that?
Yes, we can see your screen. We can see your bars. Yes.
No.
Hey, your boyfriend,
Yeah.
come on.
You
Ah!
got bars.
What's Bear's picture? Is it like her regular avatar? Because I'm seeing a broken picture.
Are you trying to? Jesus Christ! All right, do something. Do something, Snoots. Quick.
Ah, the return of the Y-boner with a vengeance.
There he is.
Wow, that is
Welcome,
an
Forrest.
awesome. That is an awesome intro. How do you
You're
guys have?
welcome.
You guys are really up the technology since I've been.
Well,
Thank
we
you.
only
thank
have
you.
like 6 of them. So
hey, I think we have 10 this week. Thank
Do
you.
nice.
we're still. Yeah. See, you need to name them though. Like, don't just name what they are. You need to name them for who they're going to use or who you're going to use them for and shit. So we're not just guessing. So we're not calling people Protestant whores.
I dig it.
Although I do stand by the Y boner for Richard. I can't quite explain it, but it's there.
What's going on, guys and girls?
Doing all right. I think Jags just popped out. But Jags, you have all the bars, Jags.
Yeah, what happened
have
to your
all the
crazy,
bars.
amazing signal?
I know.
Sir?
And yet, what? No, he's gone.
I wonder if
That's
his bar,
crazy.
if the signal is so bad that the bar signal was lagging. So at one time he had full bars. It's just it didn't catch up.
It
That
was
could be
like-
a possibility.
He had full bars this morning.
It's just like
it froze.
it's just like it just gets tired. It's like just give him full bars. We'll
Yeah, you were
do what
saying
we can do.
Bear's picture was all broken up. He's accusing me of doing the robot. Something's wrong. So anyway, so what are you up to? How's things going in the world of
Going back to school?
koala face publishing?
Yeah.
It is good. I actually have breaking news for you, man.
Uh-oh.
And
Calm
because you're a
down.
creator and I'm a creator, and man, I want to. And you're also a backer too, so I appreciate you for that. Let me share my screen. I'll show you what I mean, and then I can explain how I'm going to correct it. So,
Alrighty. So what are we looking
Okay.
at here, sir?
so we're looking at my shirts, right? Okay, so the one on the right is how I advertised it, right?
Uh-huh.
Through the whole campaign, and people, that's what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
And the one on the left is what I got.
Oh, so they worked it?
Yes. No, it's not. It's warped. There's that big border.
Yeah, I
Um,
see what you mean. I see
Oh,
what
I
you
see
mean.
what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I assumed the word,
Yeah.
but yeah, border. I gotcha.
sticky situation. So big announcement breaking on your channel. What I'm going to do is print it again at another facility, and I'm going to send everyone that ordered a shirt 2 shirts now.
Was that an issue with the file that they had, or was that just their own software?
You know what? It is it's just my luck with this campaign. I think it's my luck as an issue. So backstory is the company that I was going to is a friend of mine. He has a clothing line. Good dude, solid dude, always comes through, right? And he was handling this account. And a week prior, like he pretty much said, hey man, I'm gonna handle it this weekend. Come pick it up on this day. And I call him. He doesn't pick up his phone. Okay, he's busy. I call him the next day. He doesn't pick up his phone. Okay, that's weird. I call his brother. Hey, you didn't know? He's in the hospital with COVID.
Damn.
Yeah. So then he's like literally in a coma, almost dies. You know, like God forbid. You know, and so I'm like, man, dude, how am I gonna get these shirts out? You know, it's really weird, mixed emotions. And his brother ended up taking over. And the you know, he got the shirts out. He did me a solid to try to get the shirts out as quick as he could.
Right.
And but you know, the main guy was the one handling all the artwork and stuff. He kind of knew exactly what and I thought it was in the clip notes. And so it is what it is, man. So but
something like that can be an honest mistake, even if it's just like removing a layer from the PNG file. So maybe he just didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's just what it is. But you know, here's the thing, like, dude, backers they paid money to get what they wanted and what was advertised. And I, you know, first campaign out, I can't you know, I appreciate all my backers, especially the ones that you know, purchase shirts. So I'm just gonna give both out. So
Yeah.
So special announcement is, hey, everyone that ordered a shirt, you're gonna get 1 and 2, and one's gonna be a little bit thicker, one's gonna be a little bit softer, but it's gonna be it's a deal. So
I'm sorry, it's a really serious thing going on with you,
What's up?
and I feel for you. But what's going through my head is that stupid Family Guy sketch with the.
Did you just fucking Kanye Richard?
No,
Whoa.
no.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
I'm gonna
let you finish.
The
issues-
ass shirts, but
the issue's got the
Sorry.
shirt right. That's all I need to say.
Fuck.
Go ahead, dudes. Go ahead.
The fucking Family Guy skit with the waving inflatable tube men, where he's just like, due to a warehouse order, we're passing the savings on to you.
Yeah.
So sorry,
Yeah.
my ADD ass brain. Sorry,
Jesus
guys.
Christ.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, Richard.
No, it's great. I'm just glad that I was fortunate enough to have the pocket change to do this, even though I
Indeed.
really don't have the pocket change, but I'm
Yeah.
still going to make it happen. And so I talked to a local printer today, and we should be having this out by Friday, if not Monday. So, you know, everyone that ordered a shirt is going to get 2 shirts, and yeah, fun
Well,
stuff.
Props to you, man, for keeping customer service first. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the dent.
Yeah, that's
It's your first time though. Normally, people are pretty. What's the word? There's a word for that stuff that people use whenever they're trying to describe things. Lenient. That's it. That word. Yeah. Normally, people are pretty lenient whenever it comes to supporting like independent projects like that. You know, sometimes shit happens.
Yeah, but I don't want to leave. I don't want to start out my brand of the business that way. You know what I mean? I don't want leniency. I don't want people to think of me as oh yeah, you know, that guy, you know, he has a couple kids. I'll throw him a couple dollars. You know, I want people to be like excited about the project and want to continue to support and know that they're gonna get what they see and what they ordered. So
Right. Well, you know, people know it's a process, especially when it comes to doing things yourself. You know, and that's one of the things you want too. You want those people who can appreciate your process and see you go from, you know, first time doing something, making mistakes, to finally actually ironing out good details.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty
You
sure.
guys heard it here first, folks. Richard from Forest Publishing does not want leniency. He does not want. He does not want your fucking charity.
He doesn't want your pity.
That's what he says.
No,
To be fair though,
I'm trying to get on everyone's.
fair,
I'm trying to get on everyone's good side, especially since I had a little Rand Paul incident. Where
Oh
What is it?
no, because I made fun of Rand Paul on Razor Fist's
Oh, I saw
comment.
that.
And I'm like,
oh no.
I'm like, I mean,
I will be right back.
I think Rand Paul is a weasel, but yes, I know he has a medical degree, and it's true. He's not board certified. He everything I said was true, but I just, went a little harsh on him, and everyone was just like, "You're evil." How dare you? I'm like, fuck, I didn't know this many people would like Rand Paul. I mean, Rand Paul's neighbor didn't even like Rand Paul. So I'm just like, whoa. And it's funny because out of all the fucking tweets, right?
Yeah.
Razor Fist retweets that one. I mean, I did like thousands of tweets for my campaign, but he chooses that one. It's all good though. I like his channel too. That's what's sad. I'm like, man, I like your stuff, man. Why you dunking on me, bro? But hey, it is what it is.
You know what time it is?
You don't have to do it every time.
Every time.
No.
No.
Spam the
Different one
You
video.
for
don't
him.
have to do it every time. At least get a different one for like I'm back or something like that. Damn.
I'll
What about this one?
You know what time it is?
That one's better. We should use that
I
one
like
instead.
that one.
Yeah.
No, wait, get the better one.
Oh, for Jags?
Yeah, get the other
Oh,
better
we were
one.
doing this for Jags.
Well, you know what time it is?
Y'all are gonna get us copyright struck.
I'm not gonna get shit.
It's Team 4-Star. They don't
Strike
give a
me.
fuck.
Okay, it's Team 4-Star's audio. It is some anime company's footage.
Wait till we start angering the mouse.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Oh, who gives a
Wait
shit
till we
about
bust
the mouse?
out with the Disney shit.
Okay, that actually can get us copyright struck.
don't
I'm not even
fuck with-
joking.
Don't
Didn't
fuck
you
with the
just-
mouse.
Didn't you?
I
Just say
have
fuck
learned
the
that
mouse,
experience.
man? I don't care.
The mouse shut
Listen.
down my 13-hour stream because we looked up some obscure Star Wars character.
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys were there when that happened. And then we
No,
blamed
which,
it on
which
Faith.
character?
It was okay. You know the guy that Darth Vader chokes?
Yeah.
Like, the guy next to
Yeah.
him. That's the guy.
The guy next to him.
Yeah,
Okay.
that guy. Like, I'm not even the guy that gets choked because we did this psychology test as what villain are you? And I was the guy next to the guy that got choked.
Welcome to Star Wars. Every
Does that
single
even make him a
background
fucking
character.
dude?
Welcome to Star Wars. Every single background
Yep.
character has a backstory in about a 10-issue comic series to explain them.
True.
And then those background characters have their own spin-off comic books to where it says infinite, and now you have basically every single quintillion character in Star Wars with a comic book.
Mm.
We should look up what character that was. Now I'm curious.
But yeah, we played the scene for no more than like I don't even think more than like 30 seconds, and all of a sudden like
You get a 6-second window.
Is that what it
Really?
is?
After 6 seconds. Yep. After
Oh,
6
man.
seconds is copyright.
I've been hearing for music
What?
is 2 seconds.
Jags?
Yeah, that's why Family Guy can't play the Beatles for more than 2
Yeah.
seconds. Hey, cut.
Jags, you should find that scene. Find the clip.
Yeah, do it, Jakes.
No,
Do it for 7 seconds exactly.
no.
Let's poke the nest.
Okay,
No,
no.
let's mock
Post it in
Disney.
the nest.
Let's mock Disney in a let's mock Disney in a way where if they copyright strike us, we can threaten to sue and win because YouTube has the biggest bitch ass pussy lawyers on the planet. Let's talk
Okay, what
about their
I
shitty
don't
ass
know how
She-Hulk.
that would work. No,
He wants to talk about-
he wants to talk
I
about
want-
She-Hulk. I know.
Who wants what now?
I want lawyers like YouTube. Shit. I'm trying to win every case.
Oh, like YouTube, yeah.
YouTube has not won a single case in their entire history for copyright.
Okay, I don't want lawyers like YouTube. Never mind.
Yeah. Apparently, the easiest way to win against YouTube is just to call them out because their lawyers suck.
Oh, is that what
I
just
didn't
some
know
guy
that.
did?
Yeah.
I thought you meant
Yeah.
they were bitches like they're fucking adamant. Like, never mind.
Well, here's the thing with people that use copyright strikes on YouTube and stuff like that. They do it to like rob you of money, but who we lose?
Bear.
Oh, we lost
Bear.
there. Oh,
She may
Okay,
have had
um,
child issues, so
okay.
Yeah.
she's excused.
exactly.
As I was saying, it's like they'll do it to like strike you and like to either rob you of money or to think you'll be in trouble if you have your footage up there or whatever like that. But if you call them out on it, they cannot win because turns out in America, fair use is very clearly defined.
Mm.
You don't even need to have a really good lawyer. You just need a lawyer that's just willing to go to court and say, hey, this is fair use. It meets the definitions. We rest our case. 30 seconds, they win.
Wonderful.
Huh. That's interesting. Didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, I think the only next best tier after that would be Poland. Because Mike was telling me about that shit where like the government of Poland is like suing social media sites on behalf of the people. Like, hey, if you're censored, let us know. We'll sue them for you.
You know what?
Judges and shit.
Yeah. Because
You know what?
Poland
God bless
is
you,
not fucking
Poland.
around with the censorship.
That's
God bless
crazy.
you, Poland. You can't change a light bulb for shit, but damn it, you know freedom of speech better than we do.
Hey, fuck
Jesus
off.
Christ.
Well, you know what sucks is
Are
my
you
my
Polish?
lawyer money just went to shirts. So
Oh
it just went to double up in shirts. So yeah. Otherwise,
like
I might be back streaming. So
Whew.
You should just make a bunch of videos, Richard, being like, my lawyer is on it, and YouTube, if you don't reinstate me, I'll fucking sue you. My lawyer's on it, and you'll get reinstated.
no,
make it
I
all fair.
hire like a distinguished gentleman from Fiverr and just be like, I'm Richard's lawyer. We're gonna come get you.
From what?
We're gonna
hire-
lawyer you up.
From like a freelance website.
Just hire a lawyer who legally changed his name to Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran. That sounds like a porn star's name.
No, Johnny.
Oh, he's
Cochran.
the guy. Cochran. Yeah, he's the guy who got OJ off.
Yeah. No,
Definitely
Johnny
a porn
Cochran.
star's name.
That sounds.
Johnny Cochran?
Yeah, I know.
Actually, yeah, that
The
is a
guy's name
porn
is Johnny
star's
Cochran, but Johnny Cochran sounds like a. Yeah.
Well, one of us
So
now has to make
apparently-
that porn dirty.
So apparently, there was a judge who was caught having a threesome inside the courtroom, and I'm wondering if they were filming a porno, and one of the porn stars' nickname was Johnny Cochran.
That could work.
Judge was having a threesome in a courtroom.
Oh yes, and it was a if I'm not mistaken, a juvenile court.
Female judge
Yeah,
or male?
female judge.
It, it wasn't
That's
with a juvenile, was it?
Oh no,
Oh,
it'd be a
Oh,
completely
okay.
different story.
That's one way to
Little-
fuck the law over. Huh?
Yeah.
I'd imagine that would be very difficult to have.
yeah. Brings a whole new meaning to balls in your court.
Damn, that's funny.
All right. Speaking about balls and courts and stuff, Jags, you very much wanted to bring up She-Hulk as much as I protest.
Which has nothing to do with balls and or courts.
I'm putting the ball in his court.
Speaking of which, hey Jags. That's
Well,
not
I don't
how you
know.
Change the subject.
Well, I don't know. You know, this She-Hulk, the way they keep drawing her, she might have balls and she might be playing tennis.
There you go. I was setting him up for that.
He doesn't need a setup to make a bad pun. All right, so what do you got, Jags?
You say
What do you got for us?
you say bad pun. I say salvaging snoots, really bad segues. Well, you guys have seen the new She-Hulk design, right? At Marvel,
Who's the artist?
huh?
Who's the artist?
You know, actually, I'm not sure. I mean, it just popped up recently, and I
That's
just
why we
noticed.
have that one.
Yeah, well, fucking, I don't know.
It makes me so
We have that one specifically for anyone else who doesn't know. Jags is our guy who throughout the week he finds up shit just in case we don't have enough shit to actually talk about ourselves, which we ramble on for hours anyway. But if anything does happen, he keeps tabs on it. Literally, he's supposed to have tabs up on his computer for shit for us to talk about if he wants to discuss it, but he never does. So when it's like, hey, what's the artist? What's this thing? I don't know. Let me find it.
So we're sitting here for like another 3
So
minutes.
that happens
God
so many
damn it.
times.
We're sitting here for like another
Yeah.
3 minutes. I'm being like, all right, Jags, where you at? I'm loading it.
I'm
sure you
getting
are.
it. I'm
Sure
trying to
you are.
find it. So that's why we have that one.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on lunch break, so take your time, buddy.
You got it pulled up there, Jay?
Yeah, I had it pulled up about 3 minutes ago when you started your
Ah.
horseshit diatribe. I just
And
didn't know
it-
who the artist was because nobody has shared who the artist was.
Okay. Pull it up.
Yeah.
All right. Now, do you want to see just the art itself, or do you want to see like all the drama that where it segues into the stuff with that Star Wars girl?
Pull up
Let
whatever
me
it is
see
that you're
the
wanting
artist
to.
first.
All right. Let's just look at the
Or the
stuff
artist.
first. Okay. And share screen.
No. Now you're too late.
Be a good woman and do what the man says.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
How about
You know she's got the button to remove you from the fucking chat, right?
And then what are y'all going to talk about? Nothing. That's what.
talk about Mike's balls or whatever else he wants to talk about?
That's an interesting.
All right,
design.
so about my balls.
Damn it.
Did you really kick him? Or was that his internet?
No, it was us.
It
Okay.
was Mike.
Bitch.
That's actually a pretty interesting take on her design.
Yeah.
Like, on one hand, I can see why, but on the other hand, I'm like, you never really know big studios to drastically change a character that way. Completely sarcasm.
Ha. Yes.
Right.
So
Oh, it's Phoenix. It's a fucking Phoenix Force.
Yeah, I think it's from the series where they're like trying to be like the new Phoenix or like be the new what was it container for the Phoenix or some shit like that. I don't know what they're doing with it. But you know, they've been drawing She-Hulk like more and more as like an ugly ass monster, and now she's just a Hulk. Now she's just a Hulk with a ponytail.
And her name is her name is
And a more definite or defining jawline too.
Yeah.
oh yeah. Yeah, the head shape. Now see,
Yeah.
I actually the last version of it that they did where she had a bunch of scars and shit all over. I grew to appreciate that one. I was resistant to it at first. See, I have those nuts put aside because those are the ones that are hard to open. Also, why are you eating my nuts?
Because they're just there.
Jesus.
Wait, God damn it, context. Okay, he has pistachios out here. Fuck.
Pistachios.
So it looks like the artist's name is Javier Garan.
What
So
other
he's
work
the
is
one who came up with the initial design. But as far as that specific artist, I'm not sure.
I wonder if they gave him a reference. Like, look, you want to keep your job, you got to draw like this, man.
I mean,
It's like,
most of the time, whenever you see concept art for comic books, especially when they do a lot of them, because if I'm not mistaken, he did all of the concept art for the new Phoenix Force, and normally they let them do whatever the fuck they want. Like they'll give them little pointers, like like Superman's S curl always has to be there, or like Wolverine's hair always has to be a specific way. But normally, whenever they do concept designs like this, they normally let them go fucking balls out. If they don't like it, they'll just tell them to start over.
mm.
You know, that doesn't really work well in Western animation, for like TV cartoons and stuff like that. It doesn't work any better in comic books.
It don't.
Unless
No, it
you're
really doesn't.
working on Steven Universe, cough, cough.
I mean, they had to use Steven bombs just to get ratings, so very artificial success there.
Oh,
I have
the
a
joke
little
there
bone-
was they didn't use like official concept art. The animation studio had to be like, all right, I think this character's this tall. I think they're this size.
Yeah, they changed
I
it.
don't
I
know.
can imagine those Korean animators like overseas just having fucking mental breakdowns. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with this shit?
No fucking Bible to go by? That's crazy.
But man, like, nothing
So-
about this screams muscular woman, does it? Like the shoulders, the arms, jawline, like not a lick of it.
It doesn't.
Honestly,
it doesn't. If anything, she kind of reminds me of the teacher from Matilda.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, that's a good way to put it. Honestly, I think the teacher from Matilda might have been more feminine. Ugh. But man, why do they hate She-Hulk? Like, is there just like a
I don't
giant?
think they
hate
hate
on her?
She-Hulk. think they just hate athletic women. Like as we saw with the Wonder Woman shit recently, how everybody lost their minds that anybody would be against having a voluptuous woman being Wonder Woman, and that wasn't even the case. We're just saying, as an Amazonian, they would have an athletic body type.
I think that it's hate
and
like
then
the,
with like even if you look at bodybuilders who are women, and hell, one of our character is based on one. Like, yeah, you're gonna have some masculine features, like broad shoulders could be a thing, or just like oversized muscles, absolutely. But the whole physique isn't going to be like this. Like men and women are at the core different, and that's really what these people hate to talk about. They're like, no, it's technically that's a pseudoscience. You could be whatever you like or whatever the hell. And I'm not getting into those politics. What I'm just saying is biologically, women are going to bulk up differently than men, and people don't want to acknowledge that.
yes. Honestly, I think it might be a form of misogyny. I think they literally just hate the ideal female figure.
I think they have certain characters that they know are going to get a huge reaction, and they take these characters and they put the dial up to get the interaction and the feedback, I guess, or even if it's negative feedback, they want to get, because when people criticize it, then the other side comes out and criticizes the people for criticizing it, and it just. I think they think that's like a marketing idea, but that's
like a virtue signal marketing plan.
They think it's marketing, but the people who defend it don't buy comics, and the people who attack it won't buy it regardless anyway.
And you've seen it happen before multiple times whenever they either implement a new character, either of like a different ethnicity, or they change a mainstay character's sex, or whenever they just like outright change a design of a character. You see exactly how they play, the public in order to see whether or not if this is going to be a yay or a nay.
Yeah.
I don't personally with the She-Hulk design. I don't think that it's that big of an issue, just because with the entire Hulk family, I've seen this happen before with some of the female Hulks. But artists decided to do that and they were okay with it. More power to him. But I definitely agree that there's a problem when it comes to talking about how we represent different people in comics and media.
I agree. But it's also so consistent and everything like that. It just comes off as really disrespectful to the original character designs and everything that came before.
Definitely, like with I Am Starfire and that kind of shit. I'm not Starfire. Yeah, where it's just like my name is whatever Coriander. It's like Coriander was her goddamn first name. First off,
yeah, her fucking name was her name was Corey Anders.
And then me and Mike recently watched the Teen Titans freaking animated movie, and they legit.
Hold on, real quick. For anyone else who doesn't fucking know this, if anyone's not listening, what we're talking about is this new YA novel. Why the fuck would her daughter have the last name of her mother's fucking first name?
Yes.
Like, what the fuck? Her alien name is fucking Coriander. Her Earth name is Corey Anders. Why the fuck would her Earth child daughter's last name be Coriander? That shit makes no fucking sense. Anyway, go ahead.
This is true. If they changed it to where it was like how some people are like,
fucking nuts,
like
man.
This guy's name is Gray and his son's name is Grayson, like son of Gray. That would make sense, but they didn't do that with Coriander's kid. So anyway, moving on. Back to the body type thing before we get too off track. We recently watched the newer Teen Titans movie, and they legitimately made Starfire bigger than Nightwing. And Nightwing's already a taller dude, and she stands above him through the entire movie, and she's just big and bulky. And then the recent YA novel, they just decided to make her daughter fat for no reason.
Short, stumpy.
When
they
half
made her
her biology
the writer.
yeah,
Yeah.
she looks like a fucking toe.
And when her biology, if anything, would be more like her mother's, half alien, who isn't. They're a
That's too
warrior
much
species,
science.
Yeah, she's
But
a
just
big
like
ass super being.
it goes back to people who legitimately want to virtue signal, as you were saying, for advertisement, Richard, instead of people who actually give two shits about the fucking character.
And here's the
like
thing.
looking at this art. Sorry, one more thing. looking at this art, it doesn't necessarily suck. The character design is what I fucking hate about it, and that's what sucks about this. It's like, oh well, you guys just want to hate everything. Well,
My thing is with the author of the YA novel, she could, if she wanted to, have a story about a mother that she could tell the same exact story without having to use these characters.
yeah.
If that's the story she wants to tell. If she feels that she has a compelling story and she wants to tell that story, great, do it. But
Right.
you don't need these characters to do that. That's just
Yeah.
I don't understand. Other than you're trying to make a statement and make a buzz and
Yeah.
trying to virtue signal for marketing, which is
Well, two points to add to that. You said two great things. Key phrase being if they have a compelling story, which they like 99% of the time don't. And you also said I just blanked on it, but fuck. Listen, it's been a long day at an actual full-time job.
I wonder if this is actually a story that the writer already had, but had an opportunity to do something with, DC, but just decided to either implement that story into it, or maybe they just like ran out of fucking time and didn't feel like doing it and just combined what they had together. Because you've seen, I'm sorry.
Well, like just taking the idea and running with it, off the top of my head, I could think of like 3 different like other characters who I think had kids in continuity. Like Black Canary, I think, had a human daughter and like stuff like that, where it's just like you don't have to do the whole alien research background stuff. Like you legitimately have human kids. They could have just been, I had a superhero parent and it was difficult growing up. Like, if that's the story you want to go with, there's so many other characters you could have pulled from,
Yep,
All right.
that's true.
Question. Is this original She-Hulk? Like, this is Walters, this is our
Yes.
fucking She-Hulk?
As far as I can tell, yes.
Has it been explained yet as to why all of a sudden she looks so different? Because
I do not believe so.
when they essentially had like kind of relaunched She-Hulk, they still made her look like the other She-Hulk, but built more hulky. Where this one here, she looks more like actual Hulk, where he was completely fucking like engulfed in radiation. You know what I'm saying? It affected him on a ridiculous level. Where didn't she get a fucking blood transfusion? And that's what ended up making her. So she kept a lot of her femininity, And
Yes.
I get that they're trying to get away from she just has to look sexy and she doesn't have to be in a one piece fucking swimsuit all the time. I get that things can change. I actually did going back to what I was saying. I did actually start to like. I did not like the art in the comics for the most part. I didn't like how they wrote the character. I thought it was trash. But I liked her style change, where she looked bigger and bulkier, but only when she was drawn to where it's like she still actually kept her like feminine type of thing. She was big and bulky and muscular and whatnot, but she still had breasts. She still had things that she had as a character.
She
And
looked
I
like an
appreciated
athlete. Yeah.
Right. This one here, like even in the more recent ones where she was a little bit more gray and her scars glowed green, which I thought was really neat. This one though. Oh, Richard says he has to go.
Oh,
yeah. I just wanted to stop by and say hi and hello and drop a breaking news and then comment on a manly She-Hulk and I got
God damn it, Jake, you scared him off.
Yeah.
God damn it, Jay.
I'm intimidated by this. No, I don't got nothing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, play a fucking video, dude. Play it.
Which one?
You choose.
Do the white boner.
You losers don't even.
The return of the Y-boner with a vengeance.
All right.
Hey.
You losers don't even have an exit out video.
What are you... Kid, seriously, are you for real?
Rock?
Yes, we do.
You're getting there. You're getting there. You should do like
We
a
have all
bye
kinds of
Felicia or
fucking
something.
No.
No,
No,
or
everyone's
something.
got
I don't
that.
know. All right, guys.
All right.
And ladies, I will. I'll see you guys soon.
All right,
Thanks
see
for
you, man.
stopping by, man.
All right.
Neat. I like Richard. He's a good dude.
He's a good dude.
Just in case he can still hear us. I think it was about a 30-second
know-
thing. I like Richard. He's good.
You know, I know what I was gonna say earlier, the second
Ah,
part,
fuck.
that before I lost my train of thought.
Yes.
You know, he did bring up, it's like, do they do this on purpose and whatever like that? I think so, because a lot of them do treat stories as political platforms and stuff like that. So, like, too many times, and too many of them, you know, think that way. Like, we see it a lot of times, like in like animation, you know, movies, stuff like that. They view it not as an art form, but as a platform. And you know, the art obviously is going to suffer because of it.
Well,
So this is probably just another one of those, you know, just don't have anything sexy, you know, make women look masculine and everything like that, because we can't have feminine women be empowered.
Like what they
or
did with
anything like
Captain
that.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like God, Captain Marvel.
Ooh, can we change subject to that? Because
Uh-oh.
I want to talk about that. I really do.
What, Captain Marvel?
Oh, the fact that hypocritical bitch is playing a lesbian now.
No.
well, I wanted to
I
make
didn't want to
one
talk
more
about that.
comment on the She-Hulk thing. Well, not necessarily the She-Hulk, but the comment on the art as far as people adding politics into it or being political with their art. I mean, this art's a form of expression, and some artists, their form of expression is talking about politics. You know, like we see it with comedy, we see it with art, we see it with graffiti, especially. But I mean, I can see why we see it so much more in our generation. As far as that's not true. That's not true. Older comics were definitely more political than they can be nowadays. But yeah, I don't know. It's a slippery slope in my opinion. But I definitely can see why so many people would have an issue with it popping up in mainstream comics nowadays.
It's almost
Uh-huh.
like there's a time and the place for that shit, and the market is getting flooded with politics instead of like having that niche market where it should be.
And I agree with you that, you know, there are some art forms that are political, you know, like stand-up comedy and stuff like that. Though not all of them have to be political, you know, graffiti, all that. But, you know, in comics, especially like Marvel comics, stuff like that, you're selling a product, and it's usually pretty smart to be apolitical, or at least if you're going to be political, like you were back in the old days, it was a form of politics that wasn't really passive aggressive and everyone could get along with. It's like they'll say,
Not
they'll
quite.
even say like, oh yeah, like punching Hitler, like everyone. hated
No, I
Hitler.
mean like even the more subtle characters, you know, like
Yeah.
a lot of the characters that were very political back in the day still pissed people off. It's just that our network is so well connected nowadays that you're more than likely to hear about something. But I mean, majority of Marvel characters were Captain America's a political fucking character. The X-Men were political. Black Panther was a political character. Like their identities tie into something that has to do with either politics in our world or politics in the universe that they exist in. So it's not like
I
you
agree,
know,
but it was done with a bit of tact and some subtlety, or at least
I mean-
respect to the audience's intelligence. Like you didn't even have to agree with it, but you could still enjoy the story. It's like with Star Trek.
I mean, people were still fucking racist and reading X-Men comics at the same time, but couldn't really put two and two together. I don't really think it was the fact that it was subtle. I just think that some people would put stuff aside and let it go over their heads for the sake of their enjoyment over the fact that, you know, saying like, oh yeah, no, this isn't really that political. It's just, you know, it's fun and games. But it's like, is it though? You know, like, is it really too political because you see it or because you're not trying to see it? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they make it really hard to not see it these days.
That
So I'm gonna
Because
chime
the
in
story isn't
because
even
I know,
good.
I know, Jegs, you're a friggin' Rottweiler or whatever you call it with politics. You're just gonna sink your teeth in and not fucking let go. So I'm gonna move on real quick with.
Hold on. To the credit that the point that he was going to make there in a second.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the stories were good. You
Yes.
can read a good story because, like, if you're reading it, it's because you're a comic fan. You're reading a good story. You can set aside some of the personal politics and things of that nature if people didn't like what Captain America stood for, they weren't going to read his stuff, regardless of how good the story was. If they were more so on the fence, or at least just not going to be offended by it, they would read it and it was a good story. Now, I think the point that Jags was trying to make is that now the stories are fucking trash. The stories are trash. The art is trash. The people who were hired to do so, well, like this art with the She-Hulk is decent, but that's not fucking She-Hulk. That's my question back in the day when we first brought it up was, do we know why the fuck she looks like that, or they just decided to just change her? Because that's fucking stupid. That's not her character. Right? But nowadays we're getting fed a lot of things that nobody fucking asked for, except for people who don't buy fucking comics. So the rest of us who do buy comics are essentially just getting shoved out of the way for this new demographic that isn't even going to back your shit.
Yeah.
And it's trash. Like I would be able to put it aside. I don't give a fuck if anyone hates men. I don't care. If that's the character, like Captain America hated Nazis. That was his character. If you ever changed it that he fucking, I don't know, secretly was a fucking Nazi the entire time, that would be fucking stupid.
Yes.
But if you have it to where someone who has been, say, I don't know, say there was an X-Men who was essentially a womanizer for a long time, and say he turned into ice. All right, let's just, hypothetically speaking, and then all of a sudden, someone tells him, hey, you've been gay this entire time. He goes, son of a bitch. Not only have I been gay this entire time, I've been the most flamboyantly gay thing there has ever been, ever. That would be against the fucking character. And thus, all the stories after that would be fucking trash. It's hard to put things aside. So it's really apples and oranges, man, with that, with what you have now. Now, for the record, there was, I'll give a really good example. Future State. So Future State's happening right now with DC. And some of the shit's like, it's okay. But the art, a lot of the art is really good. They did do like, it's a Wonder Woman, but now she's Latita. But then you read it and it's like, wow, this is actually really good. And the art is great. So I have no problem. It's not like when they did America Chavez, where all of a sudden it's like, I'm Latina and everything's Latina and I'm lesbian. So everything's lesbian. And yeah, it's like, well, no, there's no Latinas in fucking space. Yeah. So no, you're not. You're a fucking asshole. Why are you speaking Spanish? You come from space. So anyway, like that is really where the argument, and I know that's not exactly what was going on here, but I don't want someone to see this and take away from that. Oh yeah, they've always been like this. Yes, they've always been political. They can always still be political. Any artist can express themselves in that way. However, when you are dealing with a property that is not yours, it is your job as a good artist or as a good writer to stick to that character and develop that character, not to change it to your political standing. You can create your own. That's why we got Image Comics, man.
But I wouldn't really put, when we're talking about mainstream though, I wouldn't really put all the flack on just the writers and the creators, because again, we're talking about these.
I'm not. I'm 100%. Okay, real quick. I am 100% not putting all the flack on them. I am not, because they were hired for a reason. There are people.
Yeah, exactly. And like the artists that I know and writers, they will get dropped like that if they can't even meet deadlines. So I'm pretty sure if they were putting out projects that the studio themselves didn't say, okay, they wouldn't have done it. But at the same time, the real question is it isn't, make something that's more creative. It's more so, why is it that Marvel, why is it that DC, why do they think that this is something that they feel like the mass majority of their audience, when it comes to mainstay characters, need to read or need to see or need changes in that direction?
Right.
If the majority of the comic industry is funded by people who have always bought comics, as you say, or people who are always reading the same stories that they've been reading, and they know the characters that have always been the same way that they've known, why is it that so many different industries are trying their hardest to change things up to the point to where people feel like they're either too political or if they're trying to draw in an entirely different demographic. Like, obviously, I know it's to get more fucking money, at the same time, it's like it can't all be just for money. Like, you can't just half-ass hop into politics because you think that people from, it's like saying, oh, maybe someone who's like really a fucking Democrat or a super conservative Republican is going to read fucking X-Men now because fucking Wolverine is going to church, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. And I think I'm tracking, and to kind of add to your point and swing back around to what I want to talk about.
It was like
two birds, one stone.
And besides, Nightcrawler's the churchgoer.
God
Well,
damn it.
Wolverine is too.
Yes, he is.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But he wouldn't be accepted because he looks different.
Right.
But
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I think we're all on the same page.
I think we
Let
are.
Snoots make her thing.
So
Also,
the
read
point
that,
being
read your comment there too when you're done.
oh yeah,
When you're done. Or now when you're done. Whatever.
So yeah, what
God damn it.
Andrew's saying is Bill Burr said it best. I know breast cancer exists. I don't need to be reminded when I'm watching football. That's 3 hours for me to escape reality. Agendas are being pushed into all outlets.
Exactly.
But like,
and-
if you don't fucking care
Hold on,
about
hold
breast cancer, that's like on you. But you're not the only fucking one watching sports. Like, what
Right,
the fuck?
but
God damn it.
but are you watching football to learn about breast cancer? Are you watching football because they're going to tell you about breast cancer? That's kind of the point that I was making with comics. And kind of the point he's making too. He's watching football to be able to escape. He's already aware of the fucking breast cancer. He's watching football to be able to escape. Comics is escapism.
So hold on. I
Go ahead.
want to touch on my point because I think this is at least like a unifying point we can all agree on.
At this
We're
point, I
just
don't
like-
want you to make your point.
I know you don't.
I want to keep bitching.
I know you don't. Well, you can keep bitching.
Let me
'cause
bitch.
I'm
No,
about
go
to
ahead.
introduce something that you know more about than I do. So,
Anything?
Ooh.
so when
All
the
right, go
Captain,
welcome to the show, Kana.
So, when the Captain Marvel movie came out, we're like, oh, well, this actually, before it came out, we're like, oh, they're going to shoehorn this in. I don't know. It has potential because it looks like dude got casted to be Captain Marvel, and he's a fantastic actor. Great. And then they're like, oh, nope, Captain Marvel's a woman.
Right.
Like, the mentor was a woman. We're like, wait, what? And then they changed dude's name to like Yog whatever.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, fuck. And then we watched the movie, and Mike was like, hey, do you know about Monica Rambeau? I'm like, no, I do not. And so he educates me. Here is Monica Rambeau's story. They totally stole her story and gave it to Brie Larson's character. I'm like, well, that's fucked up. They should have just gone with Monica Rambeau. And he's like, yes, I know.
Yeah, if they actually cared about the virtue signal or about women or anything of that nature, they already had a woman, and they had a black woman, which was the first fucking female Captain Marvel, and they turned her into a little girl fucking fangirl for lady. But
And then I feel like it's kind of a win for the fans where they're like, okay, we hear you. Backlash, absolutely. You guys did not want this movie. So we're going to turn around and put Monica Rambeau in WandaVision and may possibly try to rewrite it to where Monica is the next Captain Marvel for the second movie. Cool. Awesome. Absolutely. Like, this is what we asked for. Don't change the character to suit your fucking virtue signaling. You have great characters. Just make them who they are. And we'll eat that shit up. We'll buy the fuck out of it. And everybody, from what I can tell, is enjoying or at least not hating WandaVision. And WandaVision isn't the best TV show out there, but it's at least familiar. It's staying on point to where the source material has lined out. And I know they're pulling from multiple sources with this, and they're just kind of making it their own new clusterfuck, and that's fine. Seeing new versions of things is fine. Adding different politics to it and whatnot, that's totally acceptable. Just make it a good story. And WandaVision, I feel like, is nailing that. So that is the goddamn point I wanted to make.
And I completely
Yeah,
agree with
Fox.
Snoots on this one. And to add, in media, it's going to be mostly left wing and stuff like that. And a lot of times, you can get over it and stuff like that. Like some of my favorite movies, as a right winger, some of my favorite movies are left wing. Apocalypse Now, that's a fairly left wing movie. I still love the hell out of it because it's a damn fine movie. But there also comes a time when you know, like in Marvel Comics especially, they don't believe the shit they're selling a good chunk of the time. It's very much what is called neoliberalism, which is basically we're pushing it to sell it. But hold on,
You're
Snoot,
going
hold on.
political. Bring it back.
Newts, shut the fuck up for a minute. God damn it.
That sounds more like capitalism to me, but go off.
Well, yeah, but it's still a form of nihilism. It's just the ideal
my
behind it.
God.
But still, whatever.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
You actually prevented me from getting on with it with that clip.
I
But
want you to just
it also doesn't help that a lot of times they're hypocritical and they won't allow anything other than what they produce was accepted to also be produced in that same manner, even if it's the exact same thing, but just slightly different in a way. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
no, Connor, what did you do?
Well, let's go back.
No,
to
I'm interested. I'm interested in what he's
Well,
trying to say. Like,
Well,
I
this
wanna
is just
understand.
this is just an example, but let's go back to the breast cancer thing, right? Like breast cancer is probably the most well-known and it's the most well-researched and well-funded cancer on the planet. Prostate cancer is often overlooked. And I have seen, like, not necessarily in comics, I'm just using this as an example, that sometimes when prostate cancer is brought up and everything like that, people bitch and would say, well, what about breast cancer? Breast cancer is outfunds prostate cancer research by like 100-fold. And prostate cancer is like 5 times more lethal.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. We fund breast cancer. We've made a lot of good research into breast cancer. I would say the fatalities towards, we lost Bear? No, bye Bear. The fatalities from breast cancer have been drastically reduced over the years, but prostate cancer, which is something that, you know, affects me personally because my dad had it and luckily he has survived it and is still cancer free. Thank the Lord.
All right, James,
you know,
hang on 1 second.
Mhm.
Give a proper goodbye to Bear. Bear, we
bye
love
Bear.
you.
We
I didn't
love
see
you.
your private chat because I was too busy rolling my eyes.
Up.
All right, so we love you, Bear. Goodbye. We'll see you next week. All right, Jags, do your thing.
So sometimes people will actually get mad when you bring up prostate cancer, even if there's like no, like whataboutism to it. You're just trying to bring awareness to it. I've seen that happen, but not necessarily just prostate cancer itself, but other, you know, things that are basically the same thing. It's just hypocrisy because it doesn't serve someone's interest. And then there's also when they push politics in comics where the politics are actually fucking dangerous, like objectively dangerous. And Mike, you know which one I'm talking about. It's Mark Waid and Kwanzer's comic. What's it called? Ignited.
Yeah.
That's literally just a left-wing version of the Turner Diaries. That is one of the most evil, fucking hateful comics I have ever seen in my life.
Well, the main protagonists are actually
Terrorists.
legitimately fucking terrorists. Yeah.
Good old comic terrorists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like no irony to it or whatsoever. It's they straight up want you to see those kids as the heroes, but they just do everything fucking wrong and just evil.
Well, I have a question for you guys. So when it comes to political inserts in comic books, or not even just comics, just in media in general, entertainment media, like I know some of you said that, you know, it's an escapism for some of you. Me personally, I grew up reading comics not as an escape, but more as a way to see how people tell stories from different viewpoints and different aspects of the world. And one of the things I did like about a lot of the comics that I read growing up was that they were very political when it comes to their opinions on certain characters, because I felt like some of it made the stories feel a little bit more relatable. You know what I mean? But if that's, you know, why I like comics, you know, I can understand that somebody else won't like that. So what is it that you guys think would be a good way to insert things like that are maybe interesting to some people, but not interesting to everyone?
Well, if you're talking about inserting politics and making it interesting and having it work well, your story has to come first, always.
Well, mind you, when I say politics, I don't mean just obviously when it comes to our government. I mean like social politics is like all of it, you know. And yeah, you should research the criteria that you're trying to talk about when it comes to creating a story.
Oh yeah. Well, basically, I've always said it. Basically, I've always thought if you can get your point across without creating a straw man character, you're probably gonna do pretty good. And you know what I mean by like making a straw man?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if
Just
you can
a
show
scapegoat,
multiple
so you
sides,
can-
if you can show multiple sides and show multiple point of views, and have a very good convincing argument about why the view that you're pushing might be the better, like either just for whatever reason, moral or pragmatically or whatever, you can do good and stuff like that. I've seen left-wing comics that do that I'm like, you know what, that's well done. I don't agree with it, but that's well done. And, it was respectful to the reader, essentially. But then there are other comics and stuff like that where the opposition is just surface level, zero nuance, redneck, Nazi, you're just hater or whatever like that, where it's so cartoonishly unbelievable and stuff like it. You just don't buy it. It's
but
like
people like that are real, though. That's the scary part about it. They are.
But are they that common?
Depends on where you live, what you're used to, what you've seen the most, what you've interacted with. Like, I mean, it really depends on like the person's personal experience, what you're reading and what you're able to take into it and say, okay, I can relate to this because I've seen it or experienced it. And then there are some people who just flat out have never seen some of the things, that somebody might be expressing in a story or in some form of media. And because they can't relate to it or empathize with it, it just feels so foreign and forced. You know what I mean?
So taking that idea and kind of flipping it on its head, I think like the best way to do it, at least from what I can explain, is like how not to do it. So like I've seen plenty of writers who will say, like, I've seen this happen, but it's like I read about it or I heard about it. Like they don't actually have experience doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So they will throw in their own bias where they're like, I have experienced this. I haven't experienced this, but this is how I think that would actually play out. And they just put in their own personal bias to it. And so a lot of these projects that I feel like a lot of people are widely, what would be the proper word? That people don't really accept. There's a lot of just personal bias from the writer that most people can't relate to because it's very specific bias from the writer that there's a niche group that would be able to relate. So it's one thing if you want to put out like an independent book and you want to reach a minor amount of people, but it's another thing when you're trying to make it widespread and make it a major release, and it's a very narrow point of view. So
right.
I feel like
especially if you're using a platform and trying to attract a group of audience that are already maybe used to a certain form of storytelling. Like I wouldn't really expect a political comic out of a character like maybe Wolverine or Scott Summers. Well,
yeah,
not too much. Not too much.
Not like their love triangle they have now?
I thought they've always had that though.
Nope. Well, no. It was a love triangle, but it wasn't a fucking love triangle that actually had. It wasn't a polyamorous relationship.
Did they have a poly? I thought it was just fucking Wolverine trying to clutch in on Scott's girl.
That's what it's always been, and now it's morphed into a polyamorous relationship. They even have conjoined fucking bedrooms.
That is sad.
It went from watch your back to I have your back.
Gross.
Yeah, and not in a friendship way.
That is actually a really good example of pushing in. Okay, so to answer your to answer your question, as far as for my opinion, how to bring in politics. Now, for the record, I don't like whenever our show gets political. I don't want to fucking talk about that shit because that's all anybody fucking talks about.
Well, mind you, when I'm asking as far as politicals, I don't mean politics. I mean just as far as like social aspects that, you know, because it's not all really political. What some people might consider political might be, you know, someone else's actual fucking livelihood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like some of it's just, you know, philosophical or just, you know, different viewpoint.
Right.
Which is fine and everything like that. But
Mike was making a point.
yeah, Mike, continue. God,
Okay.
interrupting hag.
My,
He called me a hag.
I know you want me to boot him again. You want me to boot him until he starts to fucking go back to having a mutual. See, now that Jags has a girlfriend, now he decides that it's okay to fucking shit on the other women on the stream. And
Bullshit. I don't shit on
notice
Bear
it
at
now.
all.
I notice it now. He's been fucking he's been acting up a lot with that. I have to boot him more often.
We started
Anyway.
this show when I was already dating her, so no, that doesn't fly. I just like to mock Snoops. Oh, what happened to him?
Oh, you kids and your shenanigans. Back in
What
my
happened?
day.
Did they kick themselves?
Maybe. Oh no, give them a minute. They might be back. Me personally, I think this is a perfect.
What the fuck just
How do
There
happened?
you go.
How do you put it? There's a word for it.
All right, no, all right.
Wait, did you
That was
fail
back-
so hard you booted yourself, put yourselves back in, and try to recover by booting me?
No, actually, check this out. In all honesty, Stu's actually just saw. So I hovered over your thing, and it says
Remove.
remove. I clicked remove on your shit, and it booted us.
Okay, so
swear to
so
God.
so StreamYard just know who's fucking top dog around here. Then okay, I get it.
Well, let's test that. All right. Yep.
Anyway.
Apparently, they do know who's top dog around here.
Yeah, because I
Anyway.
allow it.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
All right. So the point you were saying.
All right. So the point that I was trying to make was when you have political or social issues or anything of that nature, fine. I don't dump on people doing that if they're doing like they're creating a story, they're creating characters, they're or shit that will naturally fit into that organically, and that's something they're wanting to cover.
Right.
When
And the
things are
Starfire story
changed-
was a perfect example of them doing it wrong. I do agree with that.
When things are changed inorganically and you're using incorrect characters for these things that have never had anything to do with those things, which is actually one of the biggest parts of like the Comicsgate movement and things like that, is that. And what everyone has been saying from the fucking start is make your own characters, make your own story. So weirdly enough, with how shit the comics actually are with say Ignited or Black or White or whatever, with how shit those comics ended up actually being, there is a place for, because like I said, comics have always been an escapism, and everyone, I believe, has a right to that escapism. So it's wrong to go into something that's already in there and go, make this about me now. But it's okay to be like, hey, I would like to be able to escape into something as well, and I don't really jive as well with this shit over here. And to have someone look and go, hey, I'm a writer, I'm an artist and whatnot, I can make something for that group. And that is how comics have evolved from fucking day one. They've evolved. It's never been just around one specific group. There's been fans from every fucking race, from every fucking gender, and they've been able to mesh with that in that.
But at the
in
same
that way.
time, you cannot deny that when they have incorporated other races, other genders into the comic universe, whether it be mainstream comics or independent comics, that one side is more likely to receive more backlash when it comes to how they tell their stories, even if it is done right. Like, for example, you can introduce a new character entirely into the Marvel universe for set reasons or whatever, but people don't really people don't really receive new shit well when it comes to the comic universe. You know, like new characters, even if the new character is like, you know, a local character like Spider-Man that isn't really like Universal or on Avengers level, or if it is a new Avengers, like normally those characters don't really receive a lot of good feedback, even if they have like good writers on board or good artists for the comics. You know, like one thing I can honestly say that I stand by is that comic book fans and readers do not like change. They don't really accept change well, even if it is done right. And it normally takes a long amount of time for them to actually accept something and say, okay, it is good and it's been good, but we've just not been giving it a chance. And it's like, okay, do you want to wait that long before the comic dies out? Like Miles Morales is a perfect example. He's always been a good character, in my opinion, but he's like one of the few characters like him that have actually survived the storm that they've had to deal with for being introduced. You know, it's like I understand escapism. I get it. You know, some people like what they like. Other people want reasons to say like, okay, why should I read a story about characters I can't relate to? But it's just it's a double-edged sword, you know, and it's like, where are we actually going to be able to say, okay, let's do this way, and it's going to have to stay this way until people are okay with it. But that just feels like you're just forcing it down people's throats. I don't know. There's so much I can say about it, and I don't really want to like, you know, feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over and over again. Like I get you guys this point, and I agree to an extent, but at the same time, I also feel like there's more to it, you know, than we can actually talk about in a couple of fucking hours, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me hold on, everyone. Let me ask you a question. Did you get the point that I was trying to make?
No, absolutely. I get it.
Did you though? Because I didn't even get to make my point.
Yeah, your
Jake's
point.
made a point. I didn't get to make my point.
I thought your point was that since it's an escapism for you, and not just you, that, you know, it's always been a certain way for you, that, you know, you don't really need to go out of your way to change something half-assed, even if it is for the sake of trying to bring in new people. But maybe that's just what I was hearing the whole time.
Yeah, see, I feel like this is probably a conversation that you've heard numerous times, so you probably are thinking that you already know where I'm going to go with it, because that's how that feels to me.
Not quite. I would like to talk about this more, but I don't really get a chance to talk about it as much with people with different viewpoints on it.
Mhm.
Okay, so can I make my point?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Oh,
It's your podcast. I'm a guest.
This is true. Okay, so the point that I was making is there is room for all of it. All of it has to be done correctly. When things are done incorrectly and inorganically, it makes for a bad story. The biggest complaints that should be out there are, this is a bad story, or this is a bad character. Okay? When things are loved and they're already in and they are changed inorganically to suit someone's fucking ideology, that's not how you do it. You create another character. There is a massive universe that is there. There's multiverses that are there. When Storm was created, Storm was one of the first black superheroes ever. When she was created, she was well received. Butterfly, which was arguably the first one, was well received. Vixen, when she was created, one of the first black female superheroes, when she was created, she was slated to get her own fucking comic in the first place. She was well received. There's even a recent animated movie about her.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that are done correctly, and there are things that are done incorrectly. I think that with any fandom, people are fans of certain things for a reason. If you go in there and you want to rattle that fucking fandom specifically, and then you turn around on Twitter and tell people you're doing it specifically so they will be rattled, they will be fucking rattled. You can't act surprised about that. But as a person who, even in our comic, where we do have black characters, we do have gay characters, we have two characters that from the very start, before anything, which we had started writing it long before the Comicsgate thing happened and whatnot, we had two characters that are pansexual. They've always been pansexual. That's just how they've been. But we're not focusing on, oh my God, they're pansexual. Oh my God, this person's black. Oh my God, this person's a woman. This is a great story. And that's where the focus should be. When what I was trying to say about Ignited and about Black and things that a lot of times people have created channels and actually created a fan base shitting on these certain things. What I was going to say was, well, objectively speaking, they're not really good comics. I honestly believe that they are done correctly in the sense of, just like with what Todd McFarlane did, where it was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. And he created Image Comics with Liefeld and Lee and Frege and all them. They turn around and they were like, here's the story we're trying to tell. And they create their characters and they tell their story. And some people love it and some people fucking hate it. But the people that are going to sit there and just dump on it just because, they're not forcing you to buy that comic. And they're not using your fucking characters that you love. It's not them making Captain America a fucking Nazi. It's not them making fucking Iceman all of a sudden totally flamboyantly a fucking twink. It's not them doing any of those things. It's them going, these are our characters. We're doing this. And there are some people who like it. Mark Waid, I think he's a fucking absolute trash person. But one of my favorite stories ever in comics, from even when I was a kid, is written by him. He's an amazing writer when he fucking focuses and wants to be. And when he did write those characters, he did them justice. And now when he writes his characters now that are objectively fucking terrorists, he's still doing them justice. These characters, everyone can be represented. Everyone can have their time to shine and their time to escape, and they can see from a third person point of view the things that they're seeing around them. Everyone has room to be able to do that, and we shouldn't be tearing each other apart because of it. What tears it apart is that when people come in and they're fucking lazy about it, and they take something that's already there, they take something that's already fucking created. Unless that character was going to end up doing that, and that's a natural progression, and you can actually write a true natural progression for that character becoming gay or trans or whatever the fuck it is, unless it's like that, make one that is. And have that person and show that acceptance, show the thing that you're wanting to see, show the story you're wanting to tell, and it will be better accepted. If you go in there wanting to agitate, you will be met with agitation. That's the point that I'm trying to make. It's not that things have never been political. It's that things change and therefore there should be new things. Throughout history, there's been that acceptance until... See, one of the big differences as well, back in the day, we had people who were good artists, we had people who were good writers, and they made these changes, and they were better received then, I think personally because of that, as opposed to how they are received now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
There's a difference now because of the way that they're going about it. But much like see, I have Jags on my channel, and Jags is generally the most controversial person that we'll have on the channel. And he and I disagree all the time on shit. And I am not a big fucking Kwanzaa fan, and I'm not a big fucking Ignited fan and whatnot. I do at least thoroughly appreciate that those comics themselves are their own comics. I don't give a shit what you do on your own time. I don't give a shit what you want to write, what you want to draw, what you want to suck, what you want to fuck. I don't care. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. But if you're not, we can be buddies. You could be on the fucking podcast with us. I would love to have any of them on the fucking podcast with us if they're not going to be a fucking dickhead about it. If they're going to be a fucking dickhead, then I'm like, fuck you and your book. And that's what a lot of people are doing as well. Some people that actually would, like how I was saying, people shit on Future State right now. And I actually can't wait to pick up the new Future State Wonder Woman, even though she has been tokenized, but it's not, or it seems as though she's been tokenized. But then when you start reading their shit, it's like, this is actually a decent story. It's decent art. That's fine. But the other shit that fucking isn't is going to be met with more hesitation, I would say. Right? There's a place for all of it, but there's also a method to it.
To add to your point, Mike, is like, and I 100% agree and everything like that. What you were saying about Wonder Woman and everything, it's like, yeah, Wonder Woman does look good and all that stuff. And I think a lot of people are going to ignore it because the trend recently with comics, both Marvel, DC, and like other smaller companies, has been so bad in one direction, like badly done tokenism, insertion of politics and stuff like that, where it's just so unenjoyable. It's robbing what few good gems there are of given a chance because they have lost all credibility. They've lost all, what's the word I'm looking for? They haven't built up any goodwill. And so they've lost all their goodwill and everything. So you do have Wonder Woman Future State, which from what I've seen from Zach videos actually looks pretty good, like an actual comic book. But how many people are going to give it a chance because DC and Marvel have fucked them so over and over so much recently.
And actually, you know what, Jags? I have a really good example of the other way as well. Since we're actually talking about Wonder Woman, the way that I like what I'm talking about being met with resistance.
Yes.
Okay, so one, aside from Snoot's already brought up Carol Danvers being essentially they gave her they fucking changed dude who was supposed to be Mar-Vell. They made Mar-Vell a woman for no fucking reason. He originally was supposed to be Mar-Vell. They even had a fucking a Funko Pop of it, and then they ended up having to change the box for that. So he was originally supposed to be Mar-Vell. He was all pissed off about that. They made Mar-Vell a woman, yada yada. Monica Rambeau got her fucking powers by essentially destroying a fucking machine and absorbing the power from it, and yada yada. And she was a fucking agent when that happened. Same exact thing they did in the movie. Horseshit. Anywho, Wonder Woman, Latina Wonder Woman, they did it right, and it's not getting nearly enough flack. Or nearly as much. Excuse me, goddamn, they're not getting nearly. Fuck that Wonder Woman. No,
it's not getting enough traction, is what you mean?
No, it's not getting nearly as much flack. I mean, is what I meant. Okay. As much, not as enough. But on another Wonder Woman, which we had talked about as well, Snoots and I, is Nubia. So Nubia, who has been written as being Diana's sister, sometimes long lost twin, so on and so forth, and currently is essentially just another Amazonian. Right, so she's an Amazon, and but she's Nubian. She's supposed to essentially represent that side of things. But she is classically a strong black woman, right? So you have a strong black woman. They now are currently writing her specifically as essentially being street kid, just black, just sitting on the fucking stoop, and it's like, to me, not only do you not even understand that character, but you're taking what was already a great character, a good, strong black woman, and instead of giving it to Carol Danvers, which there are a lot of people who are pissed off about the whole Monica Rambeau thing, but instead of doing that, they're doing it with fucking Nubia and just making her like, yeah, she's like not every young black girl is fatherless and from the block. You know what I'm saying? She was a strong Amazonian woman. She was already inspiring. This is something that's already pissing people off as well, who were fans of strong black women in comics. I'm sure Eric July's going to have something to say about it. Because he talks about how he's like, whenever they cast them in movies, they're not making them black enough. He's like, just make them black. Give it. If you're going to do black women, do it. And I'm like, fuck yeah, do it. Do it and do it right. Do how
you
they
think
are
it would blow
comics.
these people's mind to know that there are black people in Louisiana Bayou that hunt gators and speak as redneck as I do?
Okay.
You think that would blow their mind?
Fuck's sake. So the Nubia art, I am too fired up to want to even pull up the art right now. But do you remember the Wonder Woman cover that we did? And do you remember the one that essentially our cover spoofed that other cover? No, I don't want to fucking do it right now.
Yeah, I remember.
It is literally that type of art. Ugh. It's like that mixed with like the Cal arts, like everyone's a fucking balloon. Essentially, they're all shiny and shit.
Like how
they're doing that art for Nubia now. And it's just like she just inherits. So they don't fucking understand Wonder Woman. Like Wonder Woman just gives her gauntlets and shit, and she just gets fucking Wonder Woman powers like that. She's already a fucking Amazonian, dude. She may not be Wonder Woman's twin sister anymore, but she's already a fucking Amazonian, so she's already a little bit more of a fucking badass. She's not just from the block. You don't have to make her from the block because she's fucking black. You see what I'm saying? Like, that shit, that's how you do it wrong. And that gets a lot of fucking pushback because that's not who that character is.
So,
You know, she's not just some young black girl who just
That's
gets the gauntlets. And it's like, those gauntlets don't even give you power. Wonder Woman's gauntlets takes her power away. It dampens her fucking powers. It doesn't give her powers. It's not Beta Ray Bill with the fucking hammer. That shit doesn't make any fucking sense, man. You know?
yeah. And if I
So
can touch
honestly,
on something real quick that kind
Do
of,
it.
I feel like is along your lines, just like right next to it. So one thing that Kana mentioned earlier is like, it takes a while for people to come around to certain ideas. And I agree with that to an extent. So like how what you were saying, Mike,
Yes.
some things will come out and they don't pay respect to the character. And sometimes it's something new and it's somebody's personal vision. So what I'm talking about is like Zack Snyder films. We are very much Zack Snyder fans. We talk about it all the time. But just like with Man of Steel, he was taking on a new perspective of Superman before he is the Man of Steel, before he is Superman.
Right.
This is the forging of that steel, is that whole metaphor. And people fucking hated Zack Snyder for the longest time because it was cool to hate on things.
Yeah. And
So-
and he wasn't creating the Superman that they knew yet.
Yes.
And
And
of course,
now
Hollywood
that
hated him
Justice
because of
League-
300.
Yeah. So, people have been hating Zack Snyder for a minute to the point where Justice League got taken over while he was grieving for his recently deceased daughter. They gave a different director the film who completely butchered it. And then the fans cried out, hey, we don't like this. And they're like, shut up, you're a toxic fandom. You're fucking assholes. Why don't you just like whatever we give you? And it's like, no, just give us the movie we're supposed to get. And we finally fucking got it. It wasn't
Which, for the record, could still suck.
it could
We fully admit
absolutely
we fully admit that yes, it could still suck, and we will be the first ones to fucking say so.
but
But if it doesn't suck, are those fucking people going to take it back? No, I don't think so.
the point still remains that
Right.
right now, because we're getting that movie, whether or not it's great or not, people are so excited for this shit, and it's like, oh my god, did you know that Zack Snyder has been secretly brilliant this whole time? It's like, yeah, you fucking assholes. We've been
Yeah, you
saying
gotta
that this whole
actually give
fucking
them
time.
time to actually work in what it is that they're trying to do. Yeah, I do agree
Yeah.
on that. I've seen a lot of people
But,
give
like-
Zack Snyder hate for no reason.
Exactly,
Mhm.
because it's just cool to hate something.
Because that's
So
just
I
what
do-
everyone's hating on now, is the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I do understand whenever like mainstream comics comes out with a new character and people just shit all over it just because it's new. Fuck this. It's not what I'm used to. I get that. That happens absolutely. Sometimes it does suck.
And that
Sometimes
actually,
it doesn't.
I blame fucking, in all honesty, I blame Twitter and YouTube for that.
Yeah.
Because in the first place, it is like, look, when you end up fucking, yelling at demons and chasing demons and shit like that, once those demons are called out and vanquished, you'll look for fucking demons everywhere afterward. So once things were called out with comics and shit in the first place, and they're finally starting to fucking get their comeuppance with a lot of that shit, people are still going like, it's not even like a once bitten, twice shy kind of thing. It's literally just going like, what's the next thing to shit on? Because in the meantime, you have people getting Twitter followers because they're shitting on things that are cool to shit on, and that's their thing. Their entire persona now is shitting on stuff.
Yeah.
And that's actually why, Kana, since this is your first time on the stream here, that's actually why I have a policy of we don't get political on this fucking stream. This is supposed to be just a chill stream. We talk about certain things and whatnot. We will debate as long as it can stay civil, but we won't get political. And we don't overtly just want to shit on everything because everyone's already fucking doing that. Like, everyone shits on everything all fucking week. So normally we stream on like Sundays or whatever. So it's like, let's take a little bit of, a couple hours out of the weekend to relax and not shit on things, But I thoroughly agree. Like, and in all honesty, Ethan, go ahead, Snoots. Go ahead.
Interrupt my story again, Reggie. See what happens.
Interrupted and played. God damn it.
All right.
Welcome
goddamn
to Stream
Fade.
Fade.
Hey, Fed.
All right. So, yeah, but Ethan, I don't think that he specifically like he's got his own fucking demons that he's calling out and whatnot, but he has like a huge fandom of people who in turn they've developed a fandom, and a lot of them are doing it because look, instead of like getting the point of what Ethan's bitching about, a lot of people see it at face value as just he's bitching. So to see how successful he is, they're like, all right, well, let's bitch about stuff. So now you have a lot of people who are essentially becoming internet celebrities, and their entire thing is to bitch. There's plenty of shit to bitch about, you know, but don't look for it fucking everywhere, especially when it doesn't fucking affect you. So like I was saying, like why I won't bitch about Ignited or what are you doing?
I'm just trying to move the mouse.
Stop it. Why I won't bitch about Ignited, aside from just being like, you know what, I don't like the story. I think it's fucking stupid, and they're totally they're legitimately terrorists. And the one lady's a total fucking cunt in it for no reason. But it's just a shit story. But there's nothing else affecting me at all. It's a shit story, so I don't buy it. So I don't fucking read it, and I don't give a shit. Yeah. And no one's coming, and they're not camped out on my fucking front lawn, being like, once that motherfucker comes out, I'm gonna jump out and be like, you know, hey, do you have a couple minutes to talk about our Lord and Savior Mark Wade? Like, no one's fucking doing that to me. You know? I'm like, no, thank you. I already have a writer. Thank you. Like, no one's doing that shit, so I don't fucking care. But I at least appreciate that they're doing it on their own fucking turf. They're doing it on their own shit, you know, and that's fine. So the people that do bitch about it, to me, I'm like, that's kind of unreasonable. Because it isn't like, unless Mark Wade took your fucking job and you were originally supposed to be the writer of Ignited, then who gives a shit? When it comes to, like, your boy Zach, that's exactly what he did, really, is that he fucking fucked up his contract. So I can see why Zach himself specifically should have an issue with Mark Wade. But everyone else, yeah, back up your boy Zach by all means. Back up a person that you know and love by all means. But if the shit isn't affecting you, shut the fuck up about it sometimes, you know? Get your rant out like I'm doing right now, and then shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
Exactly why I have a huge problem with the people that were angry at your boy Zach for dropping the lawsuit. Like, it wasn't going to benefit him. Like, what point is the symbolic victory if Zach is going to go into fucking poverty?
Yeah. In all honesty, I think that the only way, and I understand it, I don't agree with it, but the part that I understand is if someone specifically gave money for something specific, like suing this fucking dude, and then he just decided, you know what, no, and that's all the example all the explanation that they got. I'm sure there's reasons for it that they don't know, and he doesn't actually have to tell them. But I understand their frustration in that manner, because it did make it look, and I'm not one of those people, for the record, so I'm just playing devil's advocate. It did make it look like when you go to like Red Cross and you give them money for a specific thing, and they turn around and like they buy pizza with it instead of like doing Red Cross shit. It came off like that, and I understand why people were pissed. But the second it comes out like, hey man, look, here's the thing and here's what's up. Not that I even fucking need to tell you, but they go, oh, okay, yeah, fine. Like that's all that fucking requires is to go, oh, that's what it was? All right, cool.
Yeah. And then
like that's it. And then you just move on with your fucking day, because who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
And then in contrast, you have people who are right behind Ethan Van Sciver shitting all over Zack Snyder when he was shitting on Zack Snyder, shitting on Ray Fisher. And it's like, who cares? These people literally didn't do anything to you. They're just people on Twitter voicing their concerns, whether they're valid or not. Who fucking cares? Why are you getting so violent about it? So it's just, that's why we avoid that kind of shit. Because
that is why we don't do that on this stream.
Yeah, like I only mention Ethan to make a point, not to shit on Ethan either. It's just like, this is something he has done that we want to avoid on this channel. So other channels definitely make their platform like bringing up other people's videos and tweets and stuff, being like, hey, let's make it personal. Let's shit all over this person. We don't want to do that. So that's why we brought up with like the She-Hulk person, where it's just like, hey, this is kind of weird. I don't like this character, and we can try to keep it character focused.
What it should be, in all honesty, whenever we bring up things like that, what I would prefer, just so everyone knows, future reference, bring it up and go, hey, What are your thoughts on this? This is what everyone's talking about right now. What are your thoughts on this? And then just have that be a thing. And I shared my thoughts with the She-Hulk. Like, I want to know why she looks like that. And if she looks like that just because, then character speaking, that's fucking stupid. Because She-Hulk isn't... She's not a true Hulk.
Yeah.
She's not a true Hulk. She got a fucking... she's kind of Hulk. In the same way that Miss Marvel was never as powerful and fucking shouldn't be written that way, was never as powerful as Marvel because she got a fucking blood transfusion. She's not completely...
Oh, I thought you were about to say Thanos because...
No. That's a whole other thing.
She can move planets, didn't you
know?
Yeah,
didn't you know she can move planets? How the fuck?
She could do a handstand and push the planet out of its
Anyway, just start doing push-ups and the planet just moves out of orbit. Meanwhile, killing everyone just because you want to get in your morning brisk workout before going for a latte. Get fucked. Anyway, no, like she was never supposed to be as powerful specifically as Marvel because she got her powers inherited through blood. Yeah, she wasn't a pure blood, and that's kind of the rule of pure blood versus not pure blood. Like that's kind of a rule with certain powers and shit, especially when those powers are fucking genetic.
Racism.
No.
How dare you?
Powers.
Racism.
Shut up.
No, should it be alienism, if anything?
Yeah. It's then I'm it's anyway. I'm not fucking anything. I don't give a shit.
Listen, Mike, everyone can use the Force.
No. Shut up. Anyway, but with She-Hulk, she shouldn't be like unless like okay, so you said that was something like I think Kana said it that it was Phoenix Force. Like she's got the Phoenix Force fucking get up and whatnot. Now, if they had it written into where say she was relatively powerful enough, which I think Phoenix Force you have to actually be we're talking about the Phoenix Force, correct?
Yeah, from what it looks like in the Q&A, it's just they did a whole team sharing the Phoenix Force again.
Okay. So what I was going to say was, now if they put it into where it's like the Phoenix Force has never been into a Hulk yet, and the way that it works with their physiology or anything of that nature is that it physically changes them because their powers are physical based as opposed to being a cognate, and which She-Hulk absolutely is not. And the Phoenix Force generally will amplify someone's powers, or especially if they are a cognate or a telepath, it amplifies that as well. And it manifests through that. Now, if they put it in there to where she's just extra fucking hulky because of that, then I go, yeah, all right. It hasn't been done yet, so we can't say that it can't be done. Does that make sense? But if it's like, hey, by the way, since we're doing this new thing, and she's She-Hulk, I thought I was just drawing Hulk, so let's just throw a ponytail on Hulk and a breastplate and like I guess bring the pecs out a little bit. Then it's like, no. That's not a She-Hulk. It's She-Hulk. She-Hulk has always been more feminine than an actual fucking female Hulk because she's not full Hulk.
Yeah, she's a
Bringing it full
6.5 foot
Yeah.
tall bombshell.
Yeah, and see, and with that there, I disagree in they did it a lot more. It was way more grievous with who the fuck I was just talking about her, not She-Hulk, the other guy.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Yeah. So when they started drawing Captain Marvel, because like, hey, Captain Marvel's super powerful. It looked like they like because it definitely was a newer artist, and they were like, hey, you're drawing Captain Marvel now. Awesome. What's her deal? She's super powerful. Got it. Muscular. Like, there you go. Got it. Say no more. Big old thick neck,
legs,
big old fucking traps and shit. And it was like, should I lean into the penis? No. Well, okay, maybe not. We'll put a vague bulge there, but definitely no tits because nothing with tits. I think
that's when you want to definitely clarify
then
where those powers are coming from, and not
exactly. And that's what I'm saying is I disagree with comics when they do these things of and they've been doing it. It's really weird. Whenever there's supposed to be a strong female, like physically strong, but their strength comes from a power as opposed to actual physicality, they draw them as though they're super strong, and it's like or as though they're actually muscular strong. And to me, unless you are a Hulk, that's kind of fucking weird, because that's not a superpower anymore. That's a buff chick. You know,
the funniest thing about it, in my opinion, as an artist, and as a writer, it's to keep it a buck. You really don't need to explain or even show why a character is strong. Like, I'm pretty sure we've all seen characters that look like fucking twigs, but they're tossing around like skyscraper-sized fucking debris. You know, so it's like when you're doing the explanation, you know, you already get a lot of grace period when it comes to like how you're gonna explain it. So like, if you fuck that up, like that really just shows that you're not really trying, in my opinion.
Right, exactly. So I honestly would love, like, if they brought Carol Danvers back and they were like, yeah, she's super fucking strong. Like how, okay, going back to that Wonder Woman again, she is feminine. They made her a little tiny bit more curvy than actual Wonder Woman, because she's, you know, Latina, so they kind of leaned into that a little bit. And she's attractive, but she also has fucking Wonder Woman strength. She's super fucking strong, but she's not crazy muscular. There's a big difference between being crazy muscular because you're super strong and being like an athletic build because you happen to be a superhero and your power is super strength. Like we have a character, she's a twin, Havana, and she could easily be seen as like a She-Hulk type of character if we had buffed her up, because she's a larger character, but she's feminine. She's legitimately fucking feminine. She's based on an actual person
who is a bodybuilder.
Well, I guess she's a fitness instructor. She's a friend of mine, and I kind of based the character around that because she used to be a coworker, and it was just like that mannerism. But anyway, we had it to where she was lean and she's athletic, but she has super strength, and that happens to be just like her power. That's one of her powers. And if you make it to where they're super buff, like they're super strong because they're super buff, it's not a power. It's something that's more achievable to the normal fucking person. And to me, it kind of takes away from that character. I would truly appreciate that people start drawing women, regardless of how the fuck they want to make the women look, but having them actually look like a fucking woman who happens to be super strong, as opposed to a buff chick. And that's why they're strong. Like, you really got to learn to think outside the fucking box with shit like that.
Yeah, and it's like, and at the same time too, you can do both. Like, you don't need to say, okay, if they're all strong women, let's show them physically strong. Like, you can literally have, like, let's say a 92 Rogue, you know what I mean? A physically strong female character, but then also have like a super masculine, you know, looking female strong character as well. Like, you don't, like, it's comics. You can be creative when it comes to how you're doing things. You know,
I'd argue though that even
I thought that was fake
even
for a second. Didn't that sound super tame to be Jigs?
It did. Bravo, Jigs.
Wow.
I got a cat in my lap. Okay, well.
Oh, I have a cat in my lap.
Yeah,
I said tame, not gay.
Listen, he wants to sleep. I'm letting him sleep.
I'm fucking with you. Go
enjoying
ahead.
that pussy there, Jigs?
Jesus Christ.
And more than you'll get. But even like women who are like the most masculine and everything like that and just roided up bodybuilders, they still look feminine. Like, they'd have to be like ultra roided and stuff like that to look like the She-Hulk they drew. Because remember China from WWF?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like she roided. Let's not beat around the bush. She roided, and it's probably what killed her. But she still looked like a woman, you know. Albeit the roids gave her, like, you know, unnatural shoulders and like an unnatural chin, but she still looked like a woman.
I mean, it depends on genetics. You know,
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty big women that, depending on what they're wearing and how they wear their hair or their looks, you wouldn't be able to tell. But that's just the diversity of people, fortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule, obviously.
Right.
Like, there's
So, in contrast to all this, like another example using one of our own characters, Haste. So speedsters are typically thin. They're made to be, they're drawn like runners. Our character Haste, he was a heavy set, not necessarily heavy set, help me out here.
He was very muscular. He was a linebacker.
Yeah, he was a football star prior to getting his powers.
Yeah.
So when he does get his powers, he was just a big, beefy dude. He was not at all built like a runner. He just happened to have speed powers. And then as he gets older, we kind of explain it in the book, so I won't give anything away.
Don't do spoilers. I like the explanation. Yeah.
Exactly. But as he gets older, he just let's just say dad bod starts to kick in real bad.
He's got hella dad bod.
So he's got a big old pot belly now, but he's still a fucking speedster. So he's still he's still human. He's not alien or metahuman or anything like that. He's still human with powers, so he's susceptible to these things. So as much as we're shitting on like different characters being portrayed that incorrectly, what we did is exactly what Mike was talking about earlier, where it's like we want to see a different way to draw these characters, so we just made our own. So it's like our friend who's helping us write this explicitly was like, I want a fat speedster. So how'd that work? So we're writing it in to where it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I had to figure out the actual logistics of how a speedster could get fat.
You spent a few months doing research on that too, where just like, let's look at the physiology here. How would this work?
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, fuck it, it's fat, get used to it, whatever. Like, not too horn here, but it's actually like great writing of how Mike conquered this issue.
Go ahead.
There are a few characters. Oh, I was just gonna say there are a few characters I could think of that are fast characters for whatever series that they're in, and they're also heavyset, like Bob from Tekken, Rufus, Street Fighter, the vice captain from Bleach, from the Assassination Squad. Like he's the biggest heavyset character in the show from what I remember, and he was the fastest. You know, so it's like it's definitely possible. It just comes down to either how you tell the story or just how you spin the tale, you know?
Exactly.
Like, personally, you can tell whatever fucking story you want, even if it's like utter fucking bullshit, in my opinion. It's just how well you can make people read it, say, oh, okay, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
And see, one of the things that you said when I was talking about the female, like the strong female physiology, one of the things that you said actually hit it on the nose, and I think that a lot of people don't get that, is that it depends on how their power works. Like, say with She-Hulk, going back to the when they recently revamped She-Hulk in the first place, and they did make her way more muscular, but she still looked like a big hulking broad.
Right.
They made her muscular, and at first I was like, why would you do that? Oh, god damn it, they're gonna make her a fucking lesbian now. She's never been a lesbian. Oh fuck, she's a lesbian. Oh, but because two women can't be friends. They cannot be friends. They must fuck. That's how they do it. But anyway, no. But I learned to appreciate that portion there because her power is physical. There is a physiology there to it, and I appreciate that they did that to where the other one it was like, oh, she turned into essentially a really big, kind of athletic build, bombshell essentially. But it's like, yeah, but she's still a Hulk. Did all she inherit was the green? All she inherited was the green and a swimsuit? Come on. She's still a fucking Hulk. So I appreciated that they did that. But not
the bombshell, the other one.
Yeah. With the speedster thing though, that's one of the things that I did with all the characters that we have, is we didn't do like, hey, wouldn't it be funny to have a fat speedster? Wouldn't it be funny that we have this sexy lady, but she's the one who has super strength? No, actually, it was, I looked into, well, how would this power work? Like, if they got it, how would the power work? I'm not saying that's how all speedsters work. I'm not saying that's how all cognates work or anything of that nature. It's in my story, just in case I need to fucking explain it, which apparently does come up a lot. In case it needs to be brought up, how does this work? And I go, okay, cool. Then it actually makes perfect sense of how he ended up getting fat, what could be done about it or anything of that nature, or even if he fucking gives a shit, which knowing the guy actually personally, he kind of does it. I thoroughly appreciate his take on how he had developed dad bod, and his take on it as well, is that he's just like, fuck it. Like, I'm a happy dude. I love myself. I love my kids. And they love me. And it's like, well, fucking good on you, dude. That's exactly how it should be. So that's how I wrote the character as well. He's like, I love it. It's fine. I already went through being this fucking football star, and I'm the fastest thing to ever exist on any plane of existence. So I don't think I need to prove myself to you. So let me eat my fucking Krispy Kreme, let me binge fucking Netflix and get fucked, you know? And that's do it. Do that. And we're doing it on
I
our
feel
own
like that's a
fucking
really
platform.
good summary.
It isn't like
of-
I took fucking Barry Allen and I'm like, wouldn't it be awesome if Barry, like, let's show Barry Allen in fucking 30 years, big old fat dad bod, because dads, am I right? And like, he's just a cuck and he's got this fucked up hairline. Like, I'm not doing that to Barry Allen. If I did Barry Allen, I would do a good Barry Allen story.
And in contrast,
Go ahead.
okay, sorry, that is like ADD, like motherfucker. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Where you get to see old Oliver, and he's got like the one arm, and he's just super fucked up.
Oh,
because
in
he just,
Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's logical progression. Because that is his
Uh-huh.
life. You take away that, and he's gonna look like a fucking homeless man.
Because he's an aged partier and he was a fucking archer and all that
Yeah.
kind of shit. Then he lost his arm, so now he's like, all I have left is the aging and the partying. So yeah.
So
Wait,
like,
are you
that's
talking about
logical
Oliver or
progression.
Roy Harper?
No, Oliver.
Oliver. Yes, I'm aware that Roy also lost his arm, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about Dark
In
Knight
Dark Knight Returns specifically, Superman took his arm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or not-
okay. Dark
Yeah,
Knight
yeah.
Returns. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about Roy Harper and confusing him for a second. Okay,
No,
never
no,
mind.
no.
No, no,
Continue.
Arsenal.
Wrong Archer. So
It was an accident, as he put it.
it's always an accident. But yeah, so
Wait. What was an accident?
Superman taking his arm, or as
Oh,
Superman.
yeah, that's... No, he grounded
It's
him on
always a
purpose.
fucking accident.
Yeah. He fucking grounded his ass because Reagan told him to.
that's
Anyway.
that's an accident. Like, no, never mind. I'm not getting into politics.
Don't do it. Oh shit, I brought up Reagan. Oh no, she's gonna be like, let me tell you about Reagan. That motherfucker. Now we've come to the crux
Hologram
of the
Reagan.
stream. No. All right, do
Imagine
your
if
thing.
hologram Reagan was here.
Oh my god.
Hi, Faye. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, Fade, you're mighty quiet over there, Fade.
Are you hiding behind your box?
No,
He's in his box.
I was doing some other stuff.
He's got the box halfway.
You're
up
cheating
his
on your
ass.
box. Are you cheating on your box?
I will not answer that question for.
Is it an open package relationship?
Ha!
That's wow. That's actually a pretty
funny,
decent.
Jags.
Yeah.
That was a decent
Good
one,
job,
Jags. Good job, Jags.
Now all we have to do is talk about Lord of the Rings. And we
It
check all
only
the
took
boxes.
him till the 1 hour 52 mark to, to make a good joke.
Well, I feel like. Do
No, I'm fucking with you, Jake. So you know we love you.
you want to wrap it up soon? Keep it at 2 hours.
All right,
Well-
if you want to.
Y'all wanted to talk about another subject regarding Captain Marvel.
Did
I wanted to
we
talk
or
about
did
Fade.
you?
What did I do?
Well, they were late.
Oh no,
in-
the
in a
gay
way.
thing.
Yeah, that's how they were late.
Fuck.
All right, pull it up and let us say our piece on
Okay,
Carol
we pull it
Danvers
up.
being gay.
Do you have it pulled up yet?
I'm pulling it up right now.
How about
Did
now?
you
Do it.
Wait, you didn't have it
Now.
pulled up before the stream?
Now.
Do it.
Now.
Listen, y'all reminded me about it.
You gotta have this shit up and tabbed before the goddamn stream, man.
Oh
You know-
fuck, I love it.
You know, y'all can pull up your own tabs every now and then.
So,
But Jake, you're so much better at it.
Well, considering the fact I'm the only one who does it, by default, I'm better at it.
well, we're too busy doing shit like this. Let's see.
And I just got here.
I know. There we go. We're too busy doing that.
Well, wouldn't that more fit in with me, kind of, since I just got here?
What?
Well, Faye, you've been on the channel before, and
Ah,
Kana's,
true.
this is Kana's first time, so that's what we were
Okay.
getting at.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Fade. You've drank with us one too many times to be just got here.
All right. Do I
Sure.
hit this guy?
No, don't
Someone
do it. I
managed to
just,
get my
Oh,
shirt off,
just
though.
fucking do it.
Unfortunately,
do it.
Yeah. Is your shirt off right now?
no.
Can we get down on this?
What?
No.
Are we doing this? Are we starting this up or what?
No.
Yeah, so before since Kana wanted to imply that I didn't like things changing because I might be some type of a bigot.
I wasn't implying that. If you felt like that shoe was, if you felt like that was your shoe, you can put that on. But I definitely was not trying to make you feel
Someone
like
wants to
that
jump
was
on my
directed at
street
you.
and call me some kind of a fucking
Goddamn racist bigot.
race baiting.
I feel
bigot.
personally attacked.
No,
Should've
if I felt like this was that kind of pod, I wouldn't be here.
I hate everyone equally, and there's no one alive who could comprehend my sexual preference.
He hasn't seen my bit from the previous episodes, has he?
No.
No, let's keep it that way.
For the record, Connor, though, that is legitimately.
Oh, it's this one.
Yeah, but that is why we have that for me, because that's legitimately my stance on most things. And everything I said
Can I
is
say
that
something about this real quick?
That's
No,
funny because
hold on. Let me finish.
normally whenever I hear people say, "Oh, I hate everyone equally," that still just means you're fucking racist. But I don't know you well enough to call you one. So
Oh, see? So he is trying to call me a racist. Normally, you know what racists say? Racists say shit like I hate everyone equally.
yeah, they do. Normally whenever you meet a racist, they normally say, "I hate everyone equally."
Well,
Wow,
that would
so-
include races, so they're honest.
Well, I mean, technically, a racist.
Aren't they
is
emo
always-
then? Because don't they hate themselves then? If
Yeah, maybe
I
they're
thought,
just straight
I
up on the
thought
same.
emos just hated themselves more than they hate everything else.
I think emos just like to say they hate themselves.
I think
that's the big
emos-
thing is that emos don't actually fucking hate themselves as much as they say.
hipsters, do hipsters?
They
hate
they
themselves?
hate themselves so that they say they hate themselves so that you can convince them otherwise that you don't hate them.
Emos
They do it
aren't
for
old
affection.
enough to hate themselves. They don't even know themselves.
Yeah.
And Faye, in
And
answer
that-
to your question, hipsters only hate things that are self-aware.
Because hipsters are the
Uh,
evolved form of emos. Emos grow
This is
up,
true.
get out of the emo phase, and then become hipsters because they hated
so-
things before it was cool to hate
Yeah.
things.
They grow
So
up.
I
Their
can-
their trainer uses the moonstone on them. And they evolve into fucking hipsters.
They use the moonstone on them, cast insomnia, and
They play a Modest Mouse record for them, and
Yeah.
they evolve into fucking hipsters.
You must have different hipsters than you guys do. All the
Yeah,
hipsters I know are
probably.
very fucking happy people. Like they're creepy. They're weird. Don't
Yeah,
even
you
know
should-
where they
you should
got all
come to
that
the coast,
happiness.
man. They're
Well, yeah,
fucking-
they leave the
Well,
they leave the
secretly
cult
go
of
online and
self-loathing
hate
to the cult.
everything that everyone else likes. So
Hey, we
Most of
talked
the
about this
emos
before.
I know here either stay emo or they become like I don't want to call it punk because it's like if you're not actually really into punk, I'm not calling you punk, but
gothic.
kinda I think but you'll have goths and emos though, like just because you're
Yeah,
emo
true.
doesn't mean you're goth.
I feel like
Yeah,
they're getting
goth
music.
is purely a style. It's not a disposition.
Mm.
They will tell you otherwise. But I'm not goth
So-
at all, so I can't really explain that.
Marvel.
All right, so what is this shit we're talking about now?
Yeah.
This new thing.
Well, you wanted to talk about it. Do you not want to talk
Okay.
about it? You
Well,
know the
I'm
story.
I'm
Wait.
wanting to talk about that and not the other shit because my give a fuck meter just ran dry. So why don't you pull up the new fucking thing here? Talk about emos and goths. I don't give a fuck. Let's talk about this guy.
Well, you
Marvel.
messaged me earlier saying that Brie Larson was a hypocritical cunt because she was one of the ones pushing like, oh, actors have to be XYZ in order to play XYZ, which defeats the purpose of acting. And then she turns
Right.
around as
then it's not
a,
fucking
I
acting.
assume, straight, or asexual. I don't know.
Well,
I've never
see,
seen a real
actually,
dude.
yeah, that's the question I had specifically because this thing pulled
Yeah, but
up that you have pulled up. My question was, did Brie Larson come out recently?
No.
I don't think so.
But
She didn't, right? I'm
Then
not
again,
missing
does
anything,
anyone
right?
really give a crap about her though?
No, not at all. But my
Okay.
question there was, I was like, huh, that's fucking interesting because I'm pretty sure she was one of them that was jumping on everyone for like, if you're not, like, you can't write for a black character if you're not black. You can't,
Direct
fucking
women if you're not a
play.
woman.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't direct a woman if you're not a woman. You can't play a gay character if you're straight. Like, you shouldn't be able to do these things. And she was very adamant on a lot of these things. And now, if this rumor is true that she's playing a gay Captain Marvel, that's kind of asinine on a few things. Like one of the things that we had talked about, where Captain Marvel has never been gay. She's not gay in the comics. Why would you make her gay just because? That's fucking weird to me. It's just
Because
strange.
newsflash, everyone hates her.
Right, but there are gay characters, is what I'm saying. There are great gay characters. There are great Muslim characters. There are great fucking black characters. There are great characters. You don't have to tokenize anything. Just learn the characters.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it bugs me that if this is true, it would fucking bug me. And it would bug me even more because it's like, wow, I just spent however many fucking years getting preached at by this same bitch talking about how I can't fucking, write because I'm not black. I can't write a black character, which I'm fucking writing multiple black characters, actually. I'm not an alien possible Filipino, and I'm writing 2 of them as well. What, Snoots?
Didn't someone who specifically pay for like a cameo? So it's just like they're entrusting you with their money to portray them as a black man.
Actually, weirdly enough, 2 of them, one of which is another artist / comic writer. Way more well-known anyway than we are, who has way more fucking books out and has been doing it since the fucking 90s and is entrusting me to not put one of his characters in, but to put him in the fucking thing. And
Who is
write
this again?
him. Anthony.
Anthony
Oh,
Moore.
yeah, that's right.
Anthony Moore, yeah.
Quick
Okay.
plug, Anthony Moore, Limitless Comics. Go check out his they're gonna do Thirst. I did a cover for them. I'm very excited. I did the Kiss of Death cover.
We did the Kiss of Death and the Blood Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kiss of Death is going to be on this next go. If you can go check out Limitless Comics and their character Thirst, that would be awesome. Give Anthony some support.
Right. Anyway, so point being that it's asinine. One of the things about being an actor is to be able to step outside yourself. You know what I'm saying? And to do it correctly. So it's stupid, that entire fucking argument anyway. Everyone's already beaten that dead horse.
I mean, think about the amount of actors
Even
we've
back to
seen
life.
characters that they're not, growing up,
Exactly.
Like, why would you say something like that when you've probably watched the movie of someone portraying a character they're not? That's like saying, oh, you can't play a mob boss if you're not a
Exactly.
mob boss.
What was it with Spawn? Like
What?
He's a burn victim. He can't voice act Spawn because he wasn't a burn victim. Like, how far do you guys
Yeah, he
go
wasn't
with
really
this shit?
But also, do you guys remember the movie Philadelphia?
I think I do.
Nope.
That was some
I haven't
serious
seen it
shit.
forever.
Philadelphia. Tom Hanks plays a gay man, and it was amazing. That movie is amazing, and he plays not just a gay man, but going through the plight of like having AIDS and all that kind of shit, and it was like he did it phenomenally. Then you do what the fuck was the one? I Am Sam. Wasn't retarded, playing a retarded guy.
Fucking
Rain Man's
Rain Man?
another one, not retarded. No, well that one too.
Well, I
but
remember Leonardo DiCaprio.
Sean Penn did it. Yeah, what's he can go great? Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio played an autistic kid, heavily autistic kid,
Great example.
not an actual autistic dude. But these, my point with that is that these are amazing movies and amazing roles, and they were done very, very, very well. I thought Leonardo DiCaprio was fucking retarded for the longest
Everyone
time
did.
because of that fucking movie, and I didn't even realize it was the dude from fucking was it Silver Spoons or Growing Pains
I don't remember.
that he was on? He was on one of those. I thought I didn't even realize he was that fucking kid. But go ahead and say your thing.
Side point. So, one excellent point Neil Patrick Harris specifically talks about is he's a openly gay man, married happily for several years, adopted 2 children, and they emit just healthy family. They're not on social media a lot, but when they are, just like, hey, just quick check in.
Yeah.
We're all happy and
Yeah.
great, and just like that's a healthy example of like just I don't know, fucking gay family, whatever. But it's just like that is just a man who wants to have his acting career and then his family, and that's it. And he refuses to play a gay character because he refuses to be tokenized, because Hollywood isn't ready for that yet. He's like, I'm a gay man and I refuse to buy into this fucking stereotype. I refuse to play that. So he has played the iconic character Barney Stinson, being a complete womanizer. He has played villains. He has played He voice acted for Nightwing for a second. It's just like he has played a diverse role of characters.
He was also the
specifically
music meister.
Okay.
Brave
He
and
had
the
a
Bold.
mustache. He
did have a
in the
mustache.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has played a diverse
I've heard
role.
rumors that he played a doctor for several years.
He did play a doctor for several years. But is he a doctor?
He wasn't a
No.
doctor.
And a sidekick. He
I
didn't
think
play
he
a
was a child.
sidekick in the
He
Federation.
did not play a psychic. Or
He did play a sidekick in the Federation, but he is not a sidekick in the
He
Federation.
had a polecat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But does he actually
had
own a
ferret.
polecat? No.
No, yeah. Well, he might. We don't know.
I highly doubt he.
Wait, he has skunk?
No, he had. What? He had a ferret.
Fuck off. No, he
Oh
knows
my
what he's
God.
doing.
He knows.
Point
Anyway.
being,
Polecat's a
It's-
skunk.
So it's like at what point? No, it's not. It's a ferret.
I feel like at one point people have to realize, like, okay, what opinions do we have floating around about certain issues? Do you want to pay more attention to than the ones that you should actually listen to? Because there are a lot of valid opinions people do have when it comes to, you know, how people are portrayed in the media, you know, how you tell stories, how things are represented. But then there's also like a lot of information that I feel like is so unnecessary to like give a fuck about. But for some odd reason, it gets such a massive fucking buildup. Like, for example, what you were just talking about with, oh, well, if you're not black, you can't write black characters. Like, that's something right there where it's like, why the fuck would anybody listen to someone saying some stupid shit like that? Like, I'm black, I'm mixed, but I identify as black. And I would never sit here and tell someone, if you're not black, don't write black characters. You know how many fucking black characters I love in stories that were not written by fucking black people? A lot. And I don't think about, oh, who wrote this character? Even if it's a character that's written badly, and I say, oh, I wouldn't do something like that, like as a black man, or this doesn't make any sense, or I can't relate to that. Like, if the writer's portrayal of a certain character is off the mark, that's still like their, like, you know, that's still their writing ability. Like, let them express it that way. Just don't fucking watch the shit. You know? Like, it's that, I just feel like we pay so much attention to the negativity when it comes to like a lot of stuff that we have problems with, that we don't even look at, okay, how can we actually make it fucking better? But that's just me.
Well, I actually agree with you. And the unfortunate answer to that is, well, who controls social media? They push what issues they want to push.
Yeah.
And it's to a degree, it's our job to pick battles, and that's how we got Justice League. And again, it may turn out to be a shit movie, but so far, it's a win for the fans.
And
we've
good
bitched
God.
we've bitched about a lot of things, and like I know Jegs disagrees with us with The Mandalorian. He doesn't prefer it. I think it's a win for Star Wars fans because we got the bullshit that was the other three movies, and then the fans spoke out and was like, hey, can someone please return a classic Star Wars? And Jon Favreau was like, you know what? Star Wars was based on samurai movies and westerns. I'm going to make a show based on that. And a lot of people ended up liking it. Jags doesn't, whatever.
I mean,
I still agree it's a win for fans.
Fans bitching about it long enough, and they got a win. And yeah, there's still fans bitching about Brie Larson. And guess what? Now we have Monica Rambeau. Brie Larson's getting phased out. Her and her bullshit, whatever the fuck this article is, she's getting phased out.
Yeah, we really should cover this article though. Can we?
And I'm trying to bring it
Can I
back
point
around.
out?
Because
Can I
I'm
point
like,
out the biggest irony of Brie Larson and her
so hungry.
and her
No, Jags,
portrait?
because Michael's
Hold
to get
on.
this
No,
article. I wanna-
let him. Let him.
No.
Because he did say Brie Larson, so technically it can't be.
It's
It
the
can't
biggest-
be that much removed from what we're doing.
no, the
Watch
biggest
it.
irony, and it really just shows how much of a hypocrite she really is. Because like all her spiel is like, you know, she doesn't want to hear like a white man, you know, talk about what he didn't like about what was it, Wrinkle in Time.
Yep.
Y'all remember the book Wrinkle in Time?
No.
Yeah.
Those characters weren't black.
I know.
They were redheads.
Mhm.
So you know.
See, I told you it was off topic.
I know.
How is that
I
off
should not have.
That's
doubted
not
you.
off topic. That's literally
Yeah.
right on fucking point. God damn it.
Anyway, to the
Why do I
article.
feel like talking about Brie Larson is like the equivalent of talking about Amy Schumer?
Because they're both just as
She's
useless.
the new Amy Schumer.
Yeah,
She does
Except
talk
for
about her
she's in Tucker.
vagina less.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I do
she's not
appreciate that.
she's not a comedian. Brie Larson's like Amy Schumer, but you just sucked out all the humor.
Well, Schumer's not a comedian either.
So she's exactly like Amy Schumer. Yeah.
But she is. She's a comedian by trade, just not a very funny one.
God damn, she got some monkey feet. Look at that.
Yeah, damn.
Hey, don't shit on long, lanky, weird-looking feet.
You don't have monkey.
I
feet.
have size 16 and I'm flat-footed.
Oh,
I have
God.
It
I have
wasn't a
every right to
personal
say who it was.
attack.
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm
What?
saying
Someone
I
said
have
something about themselves? Well, actually, I have.
God
Yeah,
damn
Listen,
it.
I had the right to talk shit about people's
7.3,
feet.
and
Fuck
most
you.
of it's in my feet.
So all we need to do now is talk about Lord of the Rings, and we've hit all the Jake's
Oh my
boxes for the
God.
podcast.
What does Lord of the Rings have to do about this?
Just things you say
For fuck's
every
sake,
time we have a podcast.
Go sit in a corner, Snoots.
Do the article.
Do it.
Listen. All right, you want me to go ahead and read it?
Yes.
No. Just give us the gist of the article so we can each say our thing, and then I can go eat.
Fine, pussy. Brie Larson, they
Oh,
Stop
I
insulting
was
the host.
talking to Fade.
what did I do?
No. Fade's like, don't bring me into this.
rule of threes, Mike. Rule of threes.
That was
I don't know.
really too.
Article.
Do you want me to read? Or do you
just
want me to give a
us
summary?
All right. What it's saying essentially is that Carol Danvers is going to be gay, right?
Yeah, they're gonna make her possibly gay.
Okay, so
That's pretty much it.
And the hypocrisy of this is hilarious.
if it is true and they are making Carol Danvers in this movie gay, Jegs, since I know you'll take the longest, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is this another shitty ass Marvel film?
Yeah.
But that Brie Larson's a fucking hypocrite, and I'm actually enjoying the fucking train wreck that is the MCU right now.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
I am a little bit.
Anything that hurts Disney more, I'm glad, because quite frankly, I told you this like a couple weeks ago. I have fucking checked out of pop culture, man. It's like I will mock it. I am not partaking in it. It's like Snyder Cut and Godzilla. I'm fucking done.
Okay.
Okay.
So you don't have any thoughts specifically about Carol Danvers being gay, aside from this is just another thing to say fuck him?
I think it's an insult to the characters that were originally created, and it's just another marketing gimmick.
I think it's an insult to the character as well.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Fade, what are your thoughts?
Well, let's go to Fade.
Well, I was kind of going in order.
Fade
Is
just
there an
did
order?
better, so.
Well, from bottom to top, right? As appearing on screen.
That was. Oh, I didn't even realize he was at the bottom. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. I was gonna.
Very aware there, Mike.
No, it's different on the thing on the bottom there. It's not. You're way over to the side, and then it would be. Well, I was gonna say Connor could do it
Fine.
because he's our guest.
Okay.
No one wants to hear Fade's opinion, so.
I would have to thoroughly apologize as well. I didn't even realize that I had put our resident cis white male talking before our proud black man, and
God.
I realized that I have misstepped.
Who told you I was white?
And technically, if we are going in order, I should go next then because I am brown.
So am
Are
I.
we going in?
So am I going to even
You're
have
red and mozzarella. Don't lie.
Are we pulling the?
Well, I did eat
Mozzarella's
some
not a color,
meatballs
you
earlier. So-
No, but it is Italian.
So anyway, no, I was making a joke, but
No, yeah. I caught your joke.
we can have Fade go. We'll have Fade go. Connor's busy anyway. He's drawing stuff.
I
Fade.
draw automatic. All right.
Fade, what do you think?
Insult to fans, and I like Jags. I'm just laughing at the dumpster fire that's happening to her, as well as at Disney too for this.
So nobody has any actual thoughts.
Well, I do.
I feel like
Gotten to
everyone's
me.
bullet
Well,
point.
no,
though.
the
Everyone's just
thought's
like,
going to
"You know
be
what? Fuck
starring
'em.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em. I don't care. Ah.
And basically,
It's the same shit with Phasing,
You know,
just
I-
a little bit more muffled because of the box.
I mean, I believe wasn't there a petition for her to be for her to step down and be replaced by an LGBT onomatopoeia
Okay, so
person?
there was a petition for her to be replaced because she was a cunt.
Mhm.
And then it's funny that's a really good point. It's funny because they started at first they were like, well, you just don't like, women and this and that, and everyone was like, no, we don't like that woman. She's an asshole. And the movie still made money, but it sucked
Allegedly.
objectively as a fucking movie.
Yep.
Anyway. And it was set up to make fucking money because it was sandwiched in where it didn't even fucking belong. The point
Yep.
being, I think honestly it could have made a lot more money if the movie was good and she wasn't such a fucking insufferable dick. But people go, hey, and I think it honestly proved that it wasn't just because they hate fucking women, because there was a petition to replace her, implying give us another woman, and also implying further, also give us another Captain Marvel movie.
Like,
So it wasn't even that we hate women, it was just we hate that woman.
if you want to do Carol
But,
Danvers, do like Charlize Theron or something. If you want to do a
Actually, I
proper
think
Captain
Charlize
Marvel
Theron
movie,
would have been amazing as a Captain
Absolutely.
Marvel.
or like
but,
how we've been saying this whole time, if you want to do a different Captain Marvel, do a fucking Monica Rambeau.
Yeah,
Like
I
any
like
other
how
woman,
they're doing Monica Rambeau right now anyway.
Yeah,
but,
point being, any other woman, we would have been fine with it.
Right.
Continue.
Yeah.
But right, but with the what the fuck with the petition to be replaced by a lesbian, essentially that was them jumping on board and being like, fine, if you're going to replace her, you better replace her with someone gay. That's where that came in. It was a totally different petition. Originally, it was just like, dude, she is toxic to Marvel and to Disney, and you guys are hemorrhaging fucking money, letting these assholes just run rampant. And now they're starting to see that, so they're reining her the fuck back in now. And they're probably even going to fucking phase her out because she is one of the most toxic ones, aside from maybe Chris Evans, that we have in the fuck. Well, Chris Evans and
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. There you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Aside from them, but I think, in all honesty, Mark Ruffalo just kind of talks out his ass. Chris Evans is like he's looking for
douche.
shit to say, Yeah, he is like a male Brie Larson at this point.
I
and
always
that
call him
really
a soy
sucks
boy with a
because-
trainer.
Right. That really sucks because I like Chris Evans movies. I like the shit he's in. I like the characters that he plays. I love him as Captain America, and I'm a big Captain America fan. And that really fucking bums me out. But I accept that that's how he is, and I'm not being like, well, if you're gonna play Captain America, you fucking better be 100% Captain America material. And no, I understand he's a fucking actor, and that's why you don't ever meet your heroes, man. Don't meet your heroes because they're gonna let you down.
Yeah.
And celebrities are fucking dickheads in one way or another, and it's gonna be someone that you don't find as being a dickhead is gonna come off as a dickhead to someone else. It's just you happen to mesh more with that actor, so fuck them.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
just
they're
stop
all-
watching their
they're-
shit,
they're
stop giving
people.
them money.
They're
know,
people
yeah.
just
Yeah.
like us. And the one problem I think most people have when it comes to actors or celebrities or social media influencers or whoever the fuck is people tend to forget that these people are people just like you. So don't expect them to just be these fucking superheroes.
Yeah.
Right.
No pun
Did
So,
you-
what are your thoughts on the whole article, dude?
Ironically, I remember talking about this with some of my friends back in in January 2019 before the movie came out, because we were wondering whether or not if they were going to do a Moondragon reference, because that Captain Marvel at one point in time was gay. She was a lesbian, but
Right.
obviously it wasn't Carol Danvers. If they were doing it that way, it would make more sense to me as someone who actually knows that story. But since it's not, I'm like, okay, is there any clear relations to her being gay? If there's not, then it's like, if it's not necessary, then we don't really need to know about it. I mean, kudos to them for putting it in if they feel like people are feeling included about it. But me personally, I think it's just irrelevant information. And once more, like everyone stated earlier, she's a fucking hypocrite. But like every other fucking hypocrite, I'm pretty sure they'll find a way to spin that story.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll use it as a shield, and
Yep.
people will stop caring because that shield got broken long ago.
So
I'm just salty I'm not getting
actually-
my Moondragon reference because I actually like that character.
Been
I
a while
actually
since I heard
have
about
an
Moondragon.
off the wall theory about this.
ahead.
So has everybody caught up with WandaVision?
I actually
No.
haven't watched it at all.
No.
Okay.
So, well, fuck.
I know.
Okay. So I'll try
I mean,
to
I
say.
don't care about spoilers, to be honest.
Yeah, neither
But I
do
can't speak
so.
for everybody else.
Okay. So for our viewer watching, and for the panel, a little bit of spoiler here. As far as we know in canon, the only time Captain Marvel has shown up since the Captain Marvel movie was battling Thanos. So whenever the blink happened, she wasn't there. As she says, there were other Avengers.
Blip.
When the blip happened, sorry. When the Avengers approached her about it, she's like, Earth has you. The universe only has me. Which isn't correct, but whatever. That was her excuse. That was a fair line in the movie. Okay? So with what they're setting up in WandaVision is Monica Rambeau does not like Captain Marvel. She has some kind of animosity to her, and why? They haven't really explained, but what I can gather is Auntie Carol came back. Her mom talked about her entire life, and then all of a sudden Auntie Carol came back when she was a kid. And then she was like, hey, we have this good time. We're getting this rapport. You know what? When you need me, here's a pager. Call me. And then doesn't show up until Thanos needs to get his ass kicked. So all Monica Rambeau sees is, where the fuck is Auntie Carol? Where the fuck is Auntie Carol whenever my mom is dying of cancer? Oh, cool, my mom pulled out. And then Monica disappears, reappears again, and her mom's dead. And no one was with her mom holding her hand while she was dying. Carol didn't show up. None of that shit. So it's like, where the fuck is Carol on all this shit? And, all right, hold on. So what I'm thinking is like how a lot of people do, where it's just like, I'm dating this person. I don't know how to tell my kid about it. So they're going to be uncle, auntie, whatever. I think that's what they're going to try to do, making this character gay. Like, yeah, I know Brie Larson was a huge advocate of it, but I don't think it's necessarily Brie Larson pushing the character as gay. I think it's like legitimately that's how they're going to spin the relationship between Carol and her best friend, is they kind of had a thing. And for all Monica knows, maybe she grew up and her mom actually sat her down and was like, birds and bees, hey, sometimes two women love each other and I loved Carol. That might have been that story, which might break her heart even more, being like, okay, yeah, if I was gone, where the fuck was Carol holding my mom's hand? So if that's the case, I think that's not bad writing as far as this is concerned. Like, that's legitimate. Like, I could see that as a legitimate story for what they have set up already. Should have been set up in the first place. I'm not even going to touch that. From what they have already established, I think that's a fair story. So
I see.
if that's the case, I understand. But going on a personal level with Brie Larson, yes, I agree. That's absolutely hypocritical. And I think it's out of her hands at this point. I do not think it's a personal
I
move
can
by
see
Brie
that.
Larson.
Yeah.
Although, if she actually did give a shit, like she has stated before, she could legitimately be like, hey, this is my stance. I feel very strongly about this. And I have to step down from this character. I have to be, like, this character has to be recasted. If that is in fact something she is given a shit about. And she was so vocal about it back in the day, it would seem that she does give a shit about it. But if this character is gay and she is straight, why hasn't she stepped down yet? If the rumors are true, why hasn't she stepped down?
I think this is a perfect example of when celebrities should actually keep their damn mouth shut about a lot of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like really
Mhm.
swallowing her whole long foot very hard right now.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Celebrities should not be activists.
Neon
I mean,
had
you can. You just really have to like know when it's like when to stay in your fucking lane.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because if you're gonna be an activist, be an activist all the way through. If you're being an activist in your job as well, do that. But once you put yourself in a position where you have to contradict yourself, for your paycheck, and there's not really much you can say about it, you're going to get people looking at you, asking you questions you're not even allowed to answer.
At that point, you
Right.
lose all credibility as being an activist. So, do you want to jeopardize your platform that much?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that guy who played Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. He's an activist, but what he does is he does like veteran charities and stuff like that, like Wounded Warrior Project. Yeah.
Bravo to him on that.
Yeah, he's a good example of an activist. But Neon had a very similar from Clownfish TV had a very similar theory that you had, Snoots, except that it was, Carol and what's her face, the mother of Monica Rambeau, had a lesbian relationship, and because Carol is radioactive, what was her name?
Maria.
Maria.
And so,
Okay.
So you're thinking that it gave her cancer,
Yeah, it gave her cancer.
and that's how she died.
Yeah, got pussy
Okay.
cancer.
That would be
Is it my turn to chime in now?
well.
Sure.
Sure.
Please God, is it my turn to share my shit? Because I didn't know that was the current theory, or that was someone's theory, and that actually kind of adds to my thoughts on this.
Now I would like to hear your thoughts.
All right, good times. Okay, so check it out. 100% fucking character assassination if this is what it is. So it would be ass writing, because that is what they did with Dr. Manhattan and Watchmen, is that they convinced him that he gave people cancer. Carol Danvers is not radioactive. One, her shit was from blood in the first place, which they changed in the movie because they had it be the lady who was in it to play Marvel was never supposed to be in it in the first place. It was supposed to be Jude Law's character, and he was supposed to be Marvel, but they changed it. They were like, we can't let a straight white male give our female power, so we have to have it come from the fucking Tesseract, which again, like I said, Monica Rambeau was the one who blew up a fucking device and got her powers by absorbing the energy from it, not Carol Danvers. Her shit was a blood transfer from gasp, a straight white man. Anyway, but she's not fucking radioactive though. It's either from blood or it's from the fucking Tesseract, which is not radioactive, and it's not going to sit there and give you fucking if anything, it'll transport you somewhere. Like there's other shit that it could do, but it's not going to fucking give you cancer. If they did that, that's piss poor fucking writing. They're not knowing their own fucking shit that they're putting in there in the first place. They obviously fucking know that was Monica Rambeau's story because they used fucking Monica Rambeau in it. They know who she is. They know she took that story. I'm telling you right now, when I fucking said, hey, if these guys gave a fuck, like when this movie was first going to come out, I was like, if these guys really gave a shit about giving us a diverse character, Monica Rambeau did actually lead the Avengers at one point in time. So if you wanted to bring in Captain Marvel, why not give us our first black female Captain Marvel, do it correctly, and have her be the next thing or whatever, if that's really what you cared about. You know why they didn't do that? Because fucking China hates black people. So they took away that fucking story. Now you can never do Monica Rambeau exactly how she was supposed to be. You can never do that because you already gave it to Carol Danvers. You can never do Marvel. You can never do that Captain Marvel the right way again because he's already been fucking corrupted and just fucked. If you ever wanted to do that character who had amazing stories, one of which actually did involve cancer, you can't even do it because now he's a lady who just got shot. Like fuck, it's character assassination at this point. It's shit writing. It's asinine. And then to turn around and have her end up being fucking gay, then it's like, okay, if she was gay, then it just makes her even worse of a character because now you really do fucking side with Monica. If she hates fucking Carol, yeah, if the love of your life fucking got cancer or whatever, like you never came back and fucking checked on her. If you loved her, you were off doing your thing, you know? What the fuck? and then you just let her fucking die of cancer that possibly you gave her if they're gonna go that route with it. Then it just makes her that much worse of a fucking character. No one's going to give a fuck that she's fucking gay. She's a goddamn sociopath at this point, you know? Like, what the fuck? But just my thoughts on her being gay, that's stupid. because we actually do have gay characters. Why not give us those people? Because you know what? Those gay characters that we do have that were always gay, that people liked, people already like them. Some people that are gay see themselves in those characters. Other people who are not gay can still see themselves in those characters because they're just fucking characters.
I mean, look at fan fiction.
Why not give us those fucking characters? They're already gay because they don't give a fuck. They don't fucking care about that, or else we would get those characters. They like no one gave a fuck about fucking Dust, so they gave us fucking or they assumed no one would give a fuck about fucking Dust, so they gave us fucking Kamala Khan. And they were like, this is the first Muslim anything. We invented the Muslims. This is our first one right here. Here's our proto-Muslim. And she's a lady who essentially just gets given powers just because. And she has Mr. Fantastic powers, and all she does is make her fists big. Like, what the fuck? And everyone was like, yeah, we've had Muslims. There's been all kinds of fucking Muslims and shit. What are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, but don't
Wasn't there like a Muslim guy on the X-Men for a while? Am I
There
remembering
we
that
do.
correctly?
There's been a bunch of Muslim characters, because until this became a thing that everyone was sitting there looking in every little dark corner to trying to find Nazis, until this became a fucking thing, no one really gave a shit. It was either you made a shitty character or you made a good character.
Yeah.
People didn't care that much about it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again, like I said, a perfect example is the reception that we got from like, well, people don't like black people and people don't like women and whatnot. Well, you know what? Let's look at the first fucking Butterfly, Bumblebee, Vixen, Nubia, Storm. Those
Static
are
Shock.
the first. Hold on, I'm talking about the first black female superheroes, and they were all met very well.
Mm-hmm.
They were met very well. They were received very well. Yeah, there's been some things, but you can't always tie it to someone not liking it. So then going like it can be tied to it was shit art or it was a shit story or something of that nature as well, and then that riles up everyone else. I'm not saying that fucking racism and fucking and bigotry and whatnot doesn't fucking exist. I'm saying it's not hiding behind every fucking corner. At some point in time, you just got to go, hey, you know what? Am I just being an asshole about this? Am I a shitty writer? Did I get hired because, oh shit, if you don't know who the token hire is, it might be you. Like, you know? And then going into this whole thing with fucking like making her gay. I know that was a fucking rant way over here, but going into the thing with making her gay, it's like, to me, it's like, dude, that's not going to make us care about it. That's, if anything, if you think about it, it's like, well, fuck, man. That makes her that much worse, if anything. It's that much further away from the character. Now people who did actually like Carol Danvers, which they're objectively speaking, there actually wasn't a huge following with Carol Danvers. If there was, why did they allow her to only exist inside of Rogue's head for like 15 years? Like, why is it that was, she never existed outside of that for the longest time because no one gave a shit. And then you force it down everyone's throat, they're not going to give a shit. It's like having a child who doesn't like kimchi and you funnel it down his fucking throat. He's just going to learn to hate you too. It's not going to make him love fucking kimchi. You know what I'm saying? So making him gay, now you're taking it away from the people who did end up liking Carol Danvers. Now you're being like, oh, she's gay and she's a sociopath and she causes cancer. They're like, well, I don't like her now. Now you lost what little bit of following you had when you already had gay people. Hell, you already had people whose power was to give people cancer. Why don't you bring those fucking guys in too? Fuck.
And even worse is that when they do stuff like that, with like the gay characters and all that stuff, when they bring in like a character that, was originally gay and is more naturally written, we're going to think it's a cheap fucking gimmick because that's what you led us to believe. So now every time there's like a black character or like a gay character, or like any, kind of like, not straight, white, whatever, character that's like part of the majority, we think it's a fucking gimmick now because that's all you fucking do.
I'm gonna keep it a buck from black people I know, not even just black people, but people of color. Whenever we see like a black character or a person of color inside of any media, we already assume that you guys think that they're a gimmick or they're a token character. So it's not like, they're not thinking that already. Sometimes it's not like we know, like it's even for years when I was a kid, like my uncle was really big into like Golden Age comics and Silver Age, and these talks are sounding very similar to what I used to hear them talk about before as well. I just think that history tends to repeat itself in very different and interesting ways. But
So
I just feel like if people actually talked about it a lot more with each other, then maybe they'd be able to see like, okay, so this is where your point of view is coming from. Because if I was just sitting here listening to you guys talk about it and say, oh, we think that every black character, every gay character is a token character, I'd assume that. But I'm listening to what you're saying and I'm like, oh, okay, I see exactly where you're coming from. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah,
hold
Hold on.
I've been wanting to
trying
make
to.
a-
She's been trying to say something for a minute. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So back when you were talking about the gay and the cancer and stuff,
The gay.
She caught the,
The
gay.
gay.
She caught the gay
No.
from the cancer.
She got the big gay.
No.
Unless they made it a symptom of the cancer, like maybe she has like a
All right,
brain
you
tumor.
guys, let's let her finish.
All
the
right.
All
thought.
right, go ahead.
I'm not even gonna touch the brain.
No,
tumor
I'm
thing.
trying to write it to where it's believable.
Point being, with the cancer, as you said, Neon hypothesizes that's where they're getting it from. I think that would be shit writing as well, kind of like how Mike was saying, where it's just like she got her powers from an explosion and stuff with a stone, with an infinity stone. So why the fuck would that cause cancer? It's not radioactive or anything like that. It's a primal energy. It's not radioactive. So on that same logic, it's like, why don't you have Loki, who was holding that scepter for a minute? Why don't you have Stark back in the 40s on working with the goddamn Tesseract? Why didn't he get cancer? Why didn't anybody who hangs out with Wanda get cancer? You know why? Because Infinity Stones don't fucking cause cancer. That's why. So if Captain Marvel ends up giving her Lady Squeeze a fucking tumor or something, that's horseshit. Because that's just bad fucking writing, because Infinity Stones should not cause cancer. I'm sorry.
Maybe it's not the stone. Maybe she's
continuity.
just
It doesn't make
cancerous
any goddamn
herself.
sense. What?
Maybe just Carol's just cancerous herself. It didn't have anything to do with the Infinity Stone. She's just a rotten bitch.
All right, I'm hungry. You want to wrap this shit up?
Well,
I want to go eat.
you want to do a quick word on Kathy Yates and Birds of Prey, or y'all want to say that for
No,
later?
I want to go eat.
No, yeah, we're.
Oh,
we've
Snooch
gone-
wants
we've
to
gone far
eat?
enough.
No.
Oh, shut up. We've gone far enough. We're good. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well,
Interrupt my story again, Reggie. See what happens.
if there is any lesson we can learn from today's show is don't meet your heroes because they will let you down, except for Chuck Norris. He will let you live.
How was that ever a moral of any goddamn story that we talked about?
I think he just wanted to make a Chuck Norris joke.
I just wanted to
God
make a Chuck
damn.
Norris joke. Damn it, Snoots.
Fucking hell. All right. Whatever.
Chuck Norris doesn't believe in China.
He's right.
Within Chuck Norris's beard is just another fist.
Helen
All right.
Keller's favorite color is Chuck Norris.
So, Connor, to explain to you, what we do is we usually go around. We go around in a circle and we say a few facts about ourselves. No,
You know what's
for
funny?
real.
We're not
We,
shaped in a circle. We're shaped in a square.
Yeah, but also like you didn't even have to say it like you're a preschool teacher because
No,
that's
I just-
actually
yeah.
what we do. We literally
it
just
is
go
what
around
we
the
do.
room and fucking.
I was kind of making a joke about that. We
Do you have a brain tumor?
I smell toast.
Do you have cancer?
I smell toast.
Are you now gay?
All right. So
Why are you gay?
fucking hell.
Oh, you guys.
We go around the room and we just plug our shit. You know, just hi, I'm so and so, and Fade, why don't you be our first one and give us an example?
There you
Okay.
go.
Hello, everyone. This is Fade here. You guys can follow me on Twitter, Minds, Facebook, and I think what else do I have? Minds, Facebook. Anyway, on those platforms at Fade Salvation, I also have a YouTube channel where I do some gaming videos. Fade Salvation. If you want to check out some cool gaming videos, go out over there.
Poor Fade.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Every time we put him up, like by surprise like that, he's like, "Oh my god, what do I have left? What do I have left to plug?" It's like you remind him He's like, oh no, and he just gets sad.
Mike,
He just sounds hella sad.
Mike,
What?
bite me.
No. Oh, Fade, come on.
Slowly.
That's an invitation, Mike.
Bite him slowly, tenderly.
Slowly. On his neck. Don't go to someone else. I'm into this now.
Oh no. What did I do?
You got my number, Fade. We can do this.
That's
Bring
a
the
good
box.
Got it.
All right. Weenus. We got.
Okay. I'm Jake Simmons. You can find me on Twitter at Dino Chief, capital D, capital C. Or you can find me here like every week. I'm on this podcast, and I also help run the War Dance Comic Twitter. So you can also get in contact with me there if you need to or whatever, for whatever reason you might have. And I just want to point out, Kana has been drawing this. Kana has been drawing this entire time and talking to us, not missing a beat, and he made that bitchin' character design that is now inking. Let's give him a little bit of attention.
I'm actually done
Should we
inking.
give an applause? Like
We were
He
trying to in
did
the first
that
place.
entire thing this stream.
damn.
So I wanted to make a comment about this before, but I completely forgot. So like my cam is like fixed to my table because I stream, and I was too fucking lazy to move it. So I did figure that me drawing during the stream wouldn't hurt anybody.
There's
But
no
thank
such thing
Yeah.
as too lazy for this stream.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Well, show,
That is
show
awesome
off.
shit.
Show,
Is it-
show
is
off
it-
your shit, man.
Well, this
Dare
is a bunch of stuff that I've been working on lately, and I'm pretty much just lining up a bunch of characters to actually color on my stream in ink. So I have
Yeah.
this one.
Oh, nice.
One there too. This is actually 4 characters. They're basically the Goonies of this story. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is just a little illustration I wanted to work on. Also have to ink this character as well. Have to ink
She
this
looks so
character as
good.
well. Have to ink that character as well. Have to ink that character as well. Have to finish this shit right here. I don't even think I'm going to be able to finish this shit right here. Maybe might do it later on. Depends on how I feel. I don't even know what the fuck this was. And oh yeah. So this another drawing. This is an old drawing, but I just pulled it out of nowhere, and I'm like, I should probably finish this shit eventually. But yeah. So all of these are basically just character concepts that I try to do on my stream just to fill up bulk. Sometimes I'll do like comic pages and stuff, or I'll just sit there and do some writing. But for the most part, ta-da.
Nice.
Cool.
Wait, am I supposed
Just,
to?
I quit art. No. You destroyed my confidence in me.
You want to see? You want to
told you
see
he's
the
got some good
oldest?
shit.
You want to see the oldest drawing I have on me?
Sure, go ahead.
Oldest?
Sure.
Well, that's too damn bad. I'm not showing you.
Oh well.
So, what's your Instagram? Where can we reach you, man?
Oh yeah, plugins. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm pretty sure those are and Facebook too. At Kana Kawato at Facebook and Black Kawato at Instagram and Twitter. I do not know how to use Twitter, so don't really look for any content on there, but I do post on Instagram every blue moon. Other than that, I also stream on Twitch at Lost Astro Sheep sometimes.
Nice.
And lost what now?
What's up with the you said something about saying a fact about each other when we go around?
Oh no, that was a joke.
Oh no, that was
like-
just her being dumb.
Oh,
Like
I
when
had a
you
funny
get a-
one, but that works too.
You can say a fact. Say a fact.
Do any of you like Pokemon?
I
Kinda.
used to.
Like
All right. So my first name
as
is
a friend.
my first name is Giovanni. And for the longest as a kid, I used to get made fun of about that name because of the gym leader and the leader of Team Rocket. Well, if anybody's played Pokemon Gold and Silver, the son of Giovanni is actually the rival, and his name is Silver. Well, my middle name, Kanataseetan, actually means second son, but in Mojave, the second son is usually called the Silver Son, and the first son is called the Golden Son. So yeah.
Interesting.
That's funny.
Nice.
I know. I think it's funny too. It's just fucking hilarious.
Marvel just revealed a Korean superhero during this stream.
Nope. We're not opening that can of worms. I don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
This bitch is hangry.
All right. Since you got anything to say?
All right, I guess I'll do our little send out. We are War Dance Comics on most platforms. Jake's fucked up our Twitter, so we are War_Dance Comics.
I didn't fuck it up. It just wasn't
I
available.
know, man. I know.
Because, oh yeah, you know what?
God.
It's been a while since we've worn a new one.
This is discrimination against a white man. Fuck y'all.
Oh, shut up.
Oh my
No,
god.
Fuck off, Alabama.
Anyway,
See?
so
More
if anyone
discrimination.
is,
Go
fuck's
freaking
sake.
drink.
If anyone is looking for us and they end up finding something that's just super weird shit, so we specifically do comics. Like, that's our shit.
Oh, yeah.
There was a War Dance Comics before us, and we ended up getting them to, we had an issue with them on Facebook and whatnot. But especially on YouTube, there's, like, weird, like,
War
kinda,
dances.
like, dark room dance party shit.
Like,
They got
eyes wide
videos on
shut
it.
looking weird shit.
Yeah, so it's like everyone's sucking each other off with a pheasant mask. Like weird, there's weird shit. So it's not that bad, but it's fucking strange. So if you guys come across something that's fucking strange, not us. If it's got a blue rhino and a green ferret on it, that's us. If it's got like a Jolly Roger kind of thing with a rhino and ferret skull, that's us. Anything else? Probably not us. So
Absolutely not.
yeah, so that's like
Questionable.
that's why certain things weren't available, like why it's War_Dance Comics.
Yeah.
That's why, because there was one already. We weren't aware of them. We're not.
And then there's a
Taking
bunch of
from them
other
or whatever,
videos
but
tagged on top of it.
Yeah,
So, yeah. Anywho,
it's just been a
Um,
while since we've explained that to people, just in case they were looking for
this
us.
is true. Yeah.
Just in case that one loyal viewer.
Aw, our loyal viewer, you know us so well.
Is that one of yours?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, why? Someone's watching us. It has to be personally involved with one of us.
It
All
says Tex in the title. Who is the person you know from Texas?
Not you.
Yeah, not me. I'm from goddamn Alaska. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, you're from California right now.
I'm not from. That's not how the English language works.
Big difference
Fuck.
between from and in. Why don't we?
Yeah, why don't we just go ahead and send it out? All right.
Yeah.
We are War Dance Comics. We have a comic up right now called Issues Volume 1. It is only on Indiegogo. We have started closing tiers as we are farther along in the progress of our book. We still have some cameo tiers open if you want to take advantage of that. Get them before they close because they will close before we go to
Yes.
printing.
As a matter of fact, I think I'm actually about to the point where I'm going to close the speaking cameo, and it will only be just straight up cameo from now on, because you can still be drawn in, but it's getting to a point to where I can't organically fit someone in who's going to actually have lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
So fucking get it what you can, man. 'Cause it will
Absolutely.
close.
And the more backers we get, we will see about doing more tiers. Not more tiers.
Fucking perks.
God, yeah, no,
No, the goals, stretch goals.
stretch
There
goals.
you go.
Yep, we've already unlocked several stretch goals that are pretty badass.
And we have
Go
the art
ahead.
contest.
We do have the art
We have
contest.
the fucking art contest, and I'm surprised that people are not totally jumping all over this, aside from Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but-
again, people who befriend us.
Yeah, so
People
exactly.
who
So
are near
people that
and
we
dear.
fucking know that probably wanted to draw on the goddamn comic in the first place. But if you ever actually wanted your comic featured, not just like put in the back on a spreadsheet essentially, but featured in the comic, whether or not it actually be in the comic or just be part of the like a chapter bump or anything of that nature. If you are an artist that can do like covers, a lot of the chapter bumps that we're doing are going to be spoofs of like famous covers. One of the things that we're wanting to do. So if you wanted to spoof a famous cover that had our characters on it or something like that, we can actually use it as a chapter bump, and your art will be published professionally and put into a thing and immortalized in our comic. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing that we're wanting to do for our fans.
And we're not like, if it's not like a art contest, like if you don't make it into the book, you don't make it into the book. We're going to find a way to include everybody's submissions.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be in the book.
Yeah, like this is by fans for fans. So we want people to pick up a volume, get that Cameo tier, do the art submission, all that jazz. We want people involved.
Yeah.
So with that being said, thank you for watching this stream. As interesting as it got, we
Always.
appreciate your support, and
Yep.
we will see you next week.
Peace.